From coaches to casuals, grassroots to the league. This is Open Gym. I'm Coach Q.
Coach T.
Coach way too nice, baby.
I guess a good conversation to start off would be, to all the parents, what makes a team a good fit for your kid? When you're looking for a team to put your kid on, should you be looking for, like, are they associated with a team? I mean, with the shoe brand, the sneaker deal? Are they on a specific circuit? What does it look like at his position? Like, what should you be looking for? Is it like exposure versus how much time they actually get to play? Mm-hmm. What would y'all say? What should you be looking for when finding a fit for your kid?
Well, I feel like it's different levels to it. What I'm looking for at the elementary level is more so development, learning the game, being exposed to the game to a certain extent, playing some teams that are, known to be a little bit better, putting us out there to see where we are. In middle school, it's a different level as well. So now we're looking more so towards a more elite level of competition, to where it may consist of a little bit more travel, a little bit more investment of financials, but you also with someone as a coach or a program that's known to be developing kids, known to have put kids in a position to be more successful as they're getting geared towards high school. Mm-hmm. On the high school level, you're looking at more of a program that are planning events or are known to be a part of events that bring out college coaches or have a good presence as far as how they promote the athletes in their tournament, promote the elite players that are doing well within that tournament. So it's three different levels of what you're looking for at different times. It's more so that you have to do your research, do your homework. Mm-hmm. You got to communicate. You got to network to see where you are, because there are a lot of fast talking representatives of programs that are looking to build, that are just wanting to accumulate the best talent, not necessarily ready to actually develop their talent and put them on a platform to be better, be seen, be recruited. And you have a lot of programs that are geared to that may not be on a circuit. So you have to find what's best for you, and a lot is looking at where your kid is at the moment, where they are. Be like I say, middle school, elementary, or high school. It all depends on where they are and what's needed for them, because when you get to the middle school and high school level, the spring and summertime are basically showcases for them.
Yeah.
You're looking to showcase your talent. You're looking to see where you are amongst those of your peers that may be ranked higher. Those that are ranked, in the same situation as you, or maybe not be ranked at all. So, you're really just doing a lot of testing and everything during that time. So you want to be with a program that's promoting that platform, that's helping you get better, helping you be seen more than anything else, especially at the high school level.
Mm-hmm. Shoot. Like you said, and I think we touched on this before with the babies.
Yeah.
They need to just be playing games. They need to be with a good coach that's going to teach them man principles, even zone principles. People frown upon that, but you got to be able to jump in and out of defenses and adjust.
Yeah.
And with the younger, just making sure that they playing games. Middle school, we need to know what tier the kid is in. Okay. So you got two tiers. You got the top tier and you got second tier, and then down here is still development.
Yeah.
So we need to know at the middle school and high school level what tier the kid is in. If he's a top tier kid or if he's a second tier kid, nothing's wrong with second tier, because I got a second tier situation.
Yeah.
So just knowing that, then with finding these teams, you need to know how many kids are on the team, how many the coach is going to keep, and then where does your kid fit in? You should ask the coach that. If I'm bringing my son to your program, how does my son, get minutes with what you got? What all do you have? Because I got a facilitating guard. Do you have 2 facilitating guards already? That's questions that I feel like you should ask, when you got kids, so you're not wasting your time. But other than that, that's what I would say.
Okay. And a bit of what they was talking about, And I guess I'd say a bit of what Wayne hit on at the high school level. It sounds like there's a space where you end up having to balance platform and playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Well, I think the main thing, especially in that 15, 16 year of high school, some are after your freshman year and some after your sophomore year, you're really looking for a situation to where you're able to really play, showcase what you have, learn from your mistakes and not feel like you have to, in a sense, be looking over your shoulder.
Short leash.
Yeah. This is not high school. Everyone in a sense plays a certain role for their high school team as is needed to be successful. But also once you get to that AAU, summertime, spring, you want to be able to showcase your abilities, because in a sense, it is not a sense of individuality though, but in a sense, you're trying to find out who you are as a player and where you fit in this realm of your class, in this realm of your region, even within your team at times, you know what I mean? So you want to have an opportunity to showcase that. So it's very pivotal to find a situation that supports that. And a lot of times it may not be joining the team that already has the 4-star recruits. It may not be joining the team that has 3 or 4 3-star. It may be a team that they may play on a level with other 5 stars, but they don't have any.
I heard y'all mention this to go on what you're saying, because when Ed was here, shout out Ed too. But I heard y'all talk about the AAU coach and then the high school coach being on the same page.
Yes.
I think that needs to happen because the stuff that you're saying, right now, what you're talking about, if the coach and the high school coach ain't on the same page, you might get the kid and get more out of him.
Yeah.
And then he go back to high school and they just kill everything that you put into him. Now you short leash on them. Now you saying you can only do this, but you had them doing X, Y, Z, and you was bringing the full potential out of them.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing with what y'all saying, I feel like the high school coaches should reach out to the AAU programs. And if they see that it's a kid that's on that team, that's one of their main kids, he need to say, hey, what do you got him doing over there? And I feel offended by, like asking you, what is he doing over there with you? What do you have him doing? Because what I do is, you know what I'm saying?
No, I want to take it even a step further. I feel like it should be a situation to where it's so much of a tandem to where a kid is able to come to a coach and be like, hey, coach, what you feel like is a good situation for me this summer?
Right.
And they may not say a specific team, but
a
specific situation they want to see you in.
Yeah.
To help grow you to in the role they want to have you be in for that following year.
Right.
And a lot of that you see, like I say, in those early stages of 9th grade or, post 9th grade, post 10th grade AAU is built a lot to build that player to be a prominent role within that organization or that program their junior and senior year.
And I say this, what you saying, Wayne, maybe that coach, if he has a certain type of system, go find a program with coaches that do kind of the same thing. Instead of just letting them play any and everywhere, if you know he going to play for your program, start fraternizing with these guys that come into the practice and see what they doing. You know what I'm saying? And like build a relationship with you.
Well, I will say, growing up, a lot of it was, for one, it was like it wasn't too many teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was very, centered on being elite, and those elite played with elite. So you're talking about 3 teams in Charlotte, for one thing. Also, it was a time where a certain coach coached just a certain age group. So you knew you were going to, hey, I played with Coach Trey in 8th grade. I'm going to Coach Q, 9th grade. Hey, this coach 10th grade, 11th grade.
You need to get back
but
to that too.
What that did, though, was it provided a program-wide type of unity as far as what they ran defensively and offense. So as I moved up, I gained more knowledge based on what you ran versus which, but it was always centered around a program-wide mindset of how we did
how
things.
we're gonna do things,
especially versus on the defense end.
Yeah.
You know, so you're kind of getting away from that now to where even back then, you know, you had high school coaches still coaching AAU, and they may not coach their kids, but they had a certain age group.
Mm-hmm.
So they stay kind of in tune with other coaches, knowing what other coaches ran. But right now, with so many different programs, many different situations, it's hard for every coach to kind of be bought in. But a great situation would be is if that high school coach knows a few programs that he feel like that are elite around.
Right.
It's like, you know what? That'll be good for you this summer.
Yeah.
That'll be good for you this summer. That'll be good for you this summer. Because I know with that coach, he's always been watching you throughout the year. So he knows what you're good at. He knows what I want to see you grow it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to help facilitate that from this end and him on that end.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the thing that, you know, me and Ed was kind of speaking of that would be an ideal situation.
It need to happen, man. That's why we got this platform. It just need to happen.
In which I guess I'd be remiss if, like, I do think that what y'all are saying is like current day, like the perfect fairy tale version of like what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked y'all this, and I don't know if it's on either side, but I think that it probably exists on both sides a lot of times. The word that's missing in the conversation we're having right now is ego.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
In which
ego and pride.
And that's on both sides, whether it's the high school or the AAU coach, where if you talk to either side of it, typically a lot of times they look down on the other side, and them coming together, to me, like that's the hard part, is that there has to be some version of like a removal of ego and actually wanting to do what's best for the kid. And the main time I could see that happening is when it's like a really high tier kid and they have no choice but to come to one
do that.
But I would also say that a lot of what y'all are saying goes to the idea of, do coaches actually have plans for kids? Where what y'all are saying, like if you're wanting to send this kid to a very specific situation, that would mean that you have some version of a development plan for this kid, and you talk to him and what you're trying to what you actually want to see out of him, see his growth from 9th, 10th, 11th grade. So then I can guide you through these situations. All right, my program may be like, we want a facilitating point guard that thinks the game and understands how to make reads out of like this version of an offense we like to run. All right, I know this coach on AAU circuit or travel ball circuit that runs something similar, and they drill in and they love this version of a guard. So I'd like for you to go over there and help develop this while you're there. Make sure that you're looking and developing these reads, because we're going to run this a lot next year. Like that would be something, hypothetically, fairy tale land, like the perfect way. But let me ask you this: do you think that whether it's AAU or travel, AAU or high school, do coaches take the time to actually have plans for individual players?
I say this, Wayne.
And
it helped me. And this ego word, and guys is chiming in.
Okay,
please. USA basketball was pushed to me early on. Investing in it was $60 a year. But one thing I hear, the problem is guys are going there, they'll get the membership, and they won't even watch the videos. You get what I'm saying? They'll get it, and they think
it's some great content.
Bro, I done watched like over 100 videos, and I hear every college coach, and these guys are better than you guys that's watching, better than me, better than you. These guys are getting paid to do it, right? And they say, I stole this from the guy down the street. I would sit in his practice. I would do this. The drill is called his name because I stole it from him. Once guys get that pride thing and understand that every year, I watched a video. I was going to send it to you guys. I watched a video with Dwayne Casey. and the defensive coach.
Oh,
and he said,
he's great.
He said, I go every year making my business to go to different guys and just watch how they do things to help my defense. This is a guy that's won championships, guys, and he's going to look at other guys.
As you should.
So if you're in this coaching world, the biggest lesson today that we're going to teach this Open Gym podcast is, guys, you don't know everything. Kill your ego. Invest in USA basketball. Yep. And then let's start having these conversations with the AAU in high school, and let's get together and make a beautiful community for these basketball players. You're going to win or you're going to lose.
All right, Trey, give them the promo code for USA Basketball. You just get it.
Right. I did a commercial.
Hey, look, you did a hell of a commercial.
Look, the only thing I can say, and we need USA shirts in here.
Hashtag Open Gym Podcast promo code gets you 20% off.
Right. But look, for real, man, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
And push them egos to the side. Man.
I definitely would promote the USA Basketball membership. Like, I mean, once you get on it and
and watch
really,
the video,
really invest.
And watch the video. 30 minutes.
That term again, investing in the craft. You know what I mean? Really invest, because you learn so much. Learn so much. You know what I mean? I was thinking about, I was watching NBA TV over the weekend, and they were showing an old Red Auerbach video. He was showing Pete Maravich doing dribbling. Now, mind you, Pete played for the Celtics later on in his career, but he played for other teams. But the fact that Red Auerbach at that time was really promoting the drills he was doing, it's the Pete Maravich drill, so, and you're right. We have a lot of drills that I know we use, Villanova's, Jay Wright's, the Hurley drill, when I'm talking about the older Hurley, not Bob, I'm talking about the dad pops over at St. Anthony's up north. Yeah. So we're talking about that type of, videos that I've watched and everything that, you learn so much, bro.
Yeah.
Like, basketball is an ever evolving thing. And, you're never going to know everything. No matter where you come from, who you've been coached by, what you've won, anywhere from Calipari to Gino Auriemma to Dagon Lewis. Don't matter where you are, who you are, you're going to continue to learn and grow in this game.
Well, I say this, and we might have to clip this. OGs, stop gatekeeping. That's the problem. See, you might, let's say you my OG, right?
Yeah.
And you been there, done that. You played semi-pro, you know the game.
Yeah.
And you bring me in and I semi-know the game. But you don't teach me the game. You just tell me what you want to tell me. Right? Yeah. And you in the back of your mind, you don't want me to get better than you as a coach. That's the problem out here. See, the wave, you gotta pour into the wave, because you're gonna get old one day. Right. So why not tell me what you do so I can add on and re-innovate what you do? These guys be gatekeeping, and see, it's hurting the kids, because everything I learned, I can honestly say, when I invested in USA basketball, it helped me understand what niggas wouldn't tell me.
Oh no,
they won't tell you everything.
And I was gonna say, sadly, it's our culture.
It is, the crab in the barrel thing,
crab in the barrel type thing. Even us being, in the basketball world and in the community that's biracial,
right?
It's a biracial community.
Yeah,
in the sense, mean that it doesn't belong to any race. It's biracial,
right?
We tend to, for some reason, in our community, gatekeep. Or don't want to pass the info, or you hold someone back, like, nah, someone you can bring them, fuck it, bro. You know what I mean? Right. We do those things, which is, it's sad to say, it hinders and pushes back the progressives, because there are so many great basketball minds, in the community.
But why not share? Because that's what makes the game the game. Because, see, I could learn from you, right?
Yeah.
But I could take that philosophy and make my own. I can add this wrinkle and that wrinkle to your offense, which makes it my offense. That's Jay Wright.
Yeah.
It's a second cut motion. He don't run a traditional motion. No. He implemented playing off of 2 feet and getting a cut. And like that's his motion.
Guards posting up, big shooting.
But guess where that started from? Motion, the regular motion, the fundamental motion, right? And then he added to it. So, guys got to stop gatekeeping, man. That's my biggest thing, man.
Well, I feel like if we actually put in the forefront what is the most important, which is actually the kid itself, the player itself. If we actually do that, we actually would kind of eliminate a lot of the things that you're mentioning. A lot of the gatekeeping, a lot of the hating, a lot of the I don't want to pass the info on. Now I don't want to help him out because whatever. Now also there are some people that do some shady shit too though.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's some people that do shady shit that don't deserve opportunity to be around these kids as well.
Right. Sometimes the gate need to get closed.
That part. Sometimes the gate need to be closed, locked, goddamn, put the goddamn borders up and everything. Right. Maybe
I ain't speaking on them guys. Yeah, but that happened.
But sadly to say, we've seen those guys. Like I was listening to, some people mentioned about a tournament this weekend they played in to where it was just bad energy. Bad people not doing it for the kids and doing it for themselves. To where a situation shut down a particular gym in Winston. So so we hate to see things like that because
this was on a high school level.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
On a
high school coaches? It was parents.
It was a little bit
of everything.
Yeah. It was more so a team from an area that wasn't, normally exposed to our culture of basketball, and they, resorted to some name calling.
Oh,
that triggered some of our folks to respond.
Gotcha.
And went from there.
So where we can kind of go a couple ways, I guess, to knock off one of these questions that somebody sent in. Y'all was talking about coach development. And kind of learning, take it from different people, and continuing to grow the game, grow your game. As a coach. Question that we did have was, so how many high school and AAU coaches don't know modern basketball schemes? I think that's a fair question, but that can branch itself off into even more so where y'all at.
Yeah, that's a great question.
And shout out to Briscoe the King. That's who sent that in.
Yeah.
Speaking about, is it a coach's duty to make sure that they stay abreast on the evolution of the game?
Yes.
Of basketball? Like for example,
Absolutely.
there was a time where pick and roll was heavy.
Yeah.
Then there was a time
now spacing.
Yeah, well, like Spain, let's say Spain action is big right now.
But
or there's a time when Princeton or the dribble drive, or like when Golden State, the split action became really, really popular. Arming your kids with information that at the college level is like now becoming a lot more prevalent. Is it a coach's duty to make sure that you stay abreast to how the game is evolving?
Yes. What you just said, pick and roll, it's still heavy, right? Mm-hmm. But it's a different version of it. It ain't just your dribble down and wait for the screen. It's more upbeat. Like you said, a Spain action or whatever. Like this stuff is different. It's still a pick and roll game.
Yeah.
You got to read it. You get what I'm saying? When that guard I mentioned to you before we even got live, I seen your boy run a great cut. And it's how he set the cut up. He entered the ball in, he faked one way, and he took off this way. Mm-hmm. I've seen kids do it wrong. Yeah. I've seen kids dumping in and just run and it don't happen.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's the minor detail in that, setting up and one way misdirecting and going the other way to be able to catch the pitch. Now he's reading. If this guy helps over, I'm kicking it to the corner, in which he did. If the guy don't help off, I'm scoring a layup. It's still a pick and roll.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, not to cut you off, I feel like it's also levels to also what you are, teaching your kids. You know what I mean? Even though the game is evolving, not necessarily at any particular level does the kids need to be exposed to just that modern evolution, because modern evolution has also negated some of the fundamentals that we learned coming up ourselves or what the game is about. So, when I say that, because you're talking about schemes and stuff of analytics, in a sense where we're going to shoot more threes than anything.
Yeah.
Threes and layups. Like, nah, that doesn't fit for the development of elementary.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't fit in a sense almost for early middle school. You know, so I feel like it's levels too.
But I'm seeing teams doing that, Wayne, in third
grade.
grade.
And I do, though.
I'm like,
no. And you're right, though. And that team may be successful.
Right.
But for the masses,
you wouldn't teach that to kids that can't do it.
But that's what I'm saying.
Some guys may do it, right?
Yeah. But let me ask you this: do you think that it makes sense, or it still has its place today? Let's just put it at the very middle school and up, where there was a time certain shots just wasn't like there was a time where shooting threes was very very rare. And some coaches I've seen and heard of some coaches that still to this day try and live and die by that. Yeah. Where, like, for example, today the transition three, if you have if you've built your offense around it, it's not as frowned upon. Not specifically saying like we're 1-on-1 in the fast break, and then I'm shooting the three compared to like guards driving middle, and instead of always running the lane to get the layup.
Bro, so what you're saying, to allude to your point, what you're saying is like right now, if you see a three on anything break versus our time, you get to the timeline, you're 45-degree cuts.
Right.
Now it's fade to the corners.
Fade to the corner. Yeah.
Fade out.
Baseline rips.
Baseline. So it's almost like sprint to the corners, then kind of start sliding back up.
Yeah.
You know, where it was so funny. Matter of fact, we talk about this in the college game. Auburn played, who Auburn just played? Was it Florida?
Yeah.
And it was the second half. I forgot the player, but he got a fast break. He's 1-on-1. He literally backs out and shoots a three.
That's crazy.
Now that's crazy.
So like I'm definitely not talking about those ones.
Yeah,
okay. No, but what I'm saying is that is how negatively it has been affected of the game. Even teaching the modern game where, you know, it's threes over twos, you know, layups over everything. It's like, no, there are a lot of in-between gray moments of the game that still need to be taught and understood at a young age on up.
I would say to the kids, if you got a kid that can do that, teach it. But if you ain't got a kid that can do it, but lay it up.
And that goes back to what that kid is being taught individually.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So, but then again, and we're gonna circle back around. Should that kid be on that team where everybody else don't know that shit? But I'm saying, like, so that one kid that you sitting there talking about, though, should he be on that team with everybody that can't do it?
Hey, but then there's like we inside like a space where so many ways we can take it.
Yeah.
But if we was to build on what we already talked about, this could be a kid that is playing on that team for a specific reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like he might need to be sharpening whatever that tool is, and this team gives him the opportunity to do that thing.
Yeah.
Where like let's just say it's pick and roll. We'll take it away from the three. Yeah. But this kid wants to sharpen his pick and roll reads. A lot of high level teams, you might not get 20 pick and roll reads inside the game. With this one, you are.
He gonna get it, yeah.
And you know, like he might have some games where he makes some really bad decisions, some really great decisions.
But they're gonna live with it.
They're gonna live with it and run it. And then that's where you will have a kid who they might not have another kid that can do those same pick and roll reads and run that down. And he benefits from being that person inside that spot. That's true. That's true.
I think this kind of roll into what another question you had about the 3 and 4 teams. Since we right there.
Okay. Give me.
You know what I mean?
Let me pull up. I do want to try and shout out to the IG.
Yes.
Y'all are always active. Y'all try and get us viral at least once a week.
And can I shout out to our CSF family and Rock Hill, the tournament we played, y'all. Yes, we need to touch on that too.
Oh, we'll get to this right after we get there.
But shout out to that family. I told him I wasn't gonna say no names, but it was a CSF family, and I walked in and I was telling Q about it. You know, my son got to see it. I always tell him the stories about how people approach. But we walked in and like the wife caught me. Was like, "Hey, that's Coach T," and she tapped him and she was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Hey, yo, what's up, man, bro? I really rock with y'all." It made me feel good because they really tapping into what we doing.
They really are.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
The YMCA and it was like, hey,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 So you know, and by all means, we humbly, you know, but we're gonna pop it. We doing a little something, guys. And I appreciate y'all because I sat and talked to them for like 20 minutes, and I was like, how much I was grateful for them to even recite, and recite our stuff. Like they reciting what we talking about, and I'm like, appreciate that. So shout out to that family that did that over the past 2 weekends ago. I told them I'll give them a shout out.
Gotcha. All right, so Call Me Cade. They dropped in. Why do parents place their children on 3, 4, 5 teams at one time?
That's OD though.
All right, so I guess I'll throw the question to start here. Has your kid played with more than one team
in a season
simultaneously in a season?
Yes, I think 2 teams would be all right.
Nah, I mean, 2.
3, 4. That's OD.
We at the point now where 2 is understood.
Yeah,
especially when a child is on a certain level, and
what if he missing your practices?
So, but that's why I feel like you're doing too much,
right?
Okay,
because in a sense, you are committed to a team that you are playing with. Now, there are situations to where you may have that conversation to be like, "Hey, coach, I'm only going to make it to practice A, because you're not the primary."
Yeah.
Now I don't know how parents or how people may categorize certain teams or they're playing for, especially when there's multiple who's primary, or is it an A, is there a B, is it?
What if he missed all your practices but want to play?
No, I ain't did that. No.
I mean, you got that out here.
No, you do. I mean,
you're talking about the hired gun.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
well, so the hired gun is also one that that can't make practice. Sometimes.
Okay. So you cool with that? Yeah.
They may be in a different city. They may be in a bit. Even to say a different state. And I can say that because we're surrounded. Charlotte and South Carolina, they're like being So different state though. But you may have, but you also may have a situation to where you understand that kid is on a primary situation and you're their second situation. Mm-hmm. So meaning that you know what you're getting with that kid. Mm-hmm. So he may come in and may not start or anything like that, but that when they touch that floor, it's like
what you're getting out of,
and you getting that Jamal Crawford, you getting that Malaysia Fuwali type thing. You getting some things it's gonna pop.
Yeah,
and your players fuck with that kid too.
Yeah,
I think that'd be the biggest thing, even with a hired gun or a kid that's playing on multiple teams. It has to be a situation where kids on both teams mess with that player. They cool with him.
Got to have a good attitude.
Yeah, whatever it may be. Because you can't just come in and because in a sense when you play on multiple teams, it's always gonna be someone that's there all the time.
Yeah,
that
they're gonna feel away.
They're gonna feel away.
Yeah,
and as a coach,
don't lose.
Oh yeah.
And as mama is gonna be mad in them.
Don't lose and don't let my kid don't play.
Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta get him in.
Coming.
Coach, get him in, coach.
Listen here, you gonna get the text message, the email, the goddamn finger point. And I paid $400 last week.
Right. And she gonna let everybody know that.
What? Yeah. She gonna let you know that she paid her fee. Ooh. We was at practice on time.
Coach, get him in.
And
coach.
I brought some water.
2 minutes at least. He got to play 2 to 5 minutes. Get him in, coach.
You got.
We'll circle back to
let
finding playing time for kids and parents that the parents that pay that money up front.
Well, yeah, and that be a lot of times it be that.
They bring the snacks, snacks too.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
The good snacks.
Water.
They went to Sam's Club,
put the little electrolyte
or BJ's or something like
orange
that.
Slices. Like
what's the little Halo oranges?
The Halo, they keep them ready. Yeah, and they got the little crustables in there too. So get a little peanut butter and jelly and all that.
They compensate. Well, we'll get there. I think that
we love those parents.
Somebody asked about delusion. We do love those parents.
Yeah, we love y'all.
But I don't want to necessarily throw to the delusional parent yet. Not saying that that's the delusional parent, but staying where we're at really quickly. So everybody said that their kid did play on a different team at a point in time, or 2 teams at the same time at a point in time. What was your rationale behind having them play for 2 teams at the same time?
I'll say this: my team was bad, and my team and my son.
And when you say your team was bad, what you mean?
Like it was total development.
Okay.
And then my son was past the develop. He still needed to develop, but he was past them.
That stage.
Yeah. So it was beginning to be frustrating for him because he passed and he like, man, I'm doing what you tell me. I passed to Mojo over there. He can't even catch the ball. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And you having that talk with him. And he never ball hog, but then you like, well, you need to do more. And he's like, well, I'm doing it, but he can't shoot. I passed it to him, he can't make it. And then I had to get him on a team where, it was kids that could go.
He's playing with more like-minded kids.
Yeah, and it's in the gym.
Yeah,
too, like him. Yeah.
Well, I think for me, and we've rarely done it because, of course, with AAU, I've always been this coach for the most part. But I want to say around about 8th grade and even 7th grade was more so like, if there is an opportunity to showcase different parts of your game, open for it. More recently, we did something like that last year to where he played with his main team, but also played up. Mm-hmm. He played up 17U with another organization, and that was also just to kind of gauge where you are. You've done this all spring, a little bit of summer. Let's see where you are on the level of that's more comparable to high school. Yeah, high school varsity in a sense. You know what I mean? Where everyone is of age, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. Mm-hmm. So that was more sort of thinking behind that is kind of see where you are physically and mentally, you know, with your game versus playing with your own age group. So
and your peers,
and your peers, you know what I mean? So I feel like anytime you can kind of get experience playing up, even going to a college camp, now, or, being 16 or 15U, playing up 17U, all those are good experiences for you, so.
Shout out to the dads that play the kids up.
Part.
That's his own rarity. Yeah. And I guess what I would say is I did it a couple different times. Usually, like, it just always has to make sense, because one thing that's not told or that's understated about it is that travel between, like, if you're actually going to practices and making sure, and like you also ain't got no weekends no more as a parent because of, like, one of them weekends they playing, then the other one gonna be playing, and sometimes don't let it be one where you got to try and run around 2 different spots because
on the same weekend.
Yeah. Like it becomes hefty. In doing it,
you better than me on that one because ain't no in the hell I'm doing two different organizations the same weekend. No, somebody gonna falter. I'm sorry.
No, I get, like, sometimes you might have that one developmental program they lose at like 8.
And that's understandable.
The other team might play at
12 and 1. I got you. I got you. Yeah.
But typically when I've done it, I think I've done it a couple times. When he played up, he was younger, and it was a coach that really liked him. So now, for me, I enjoyed having him around kids 2 years older than him.
Yeah,
this might have been like 3rd grade or something like that.
Yeah, I got you.
And they he just wanted him to come. So whenever he could come to practice, he'd just send a schedule. And he would pop in when we ain't had nothing to do, and it made sense. Another time that I did it, this probably was like 6th grade-ish, where he played on one team that was really guard heavy, where like we can name like 7 guards.
I think we were like uberly guard heavy.
Yeah. So like that version of basketball was like its own different thing. Like you just got one big and it's 4 guards, so everybody's running all around.
Yeah, how you live.
The other section of the other situation. There we go. Was more so like a classically constructed team. So you had like your bigs,
and they just needed a good point guard,
and they needed a guard.
Yeah,
and so like he was able to kind of be over here with all the dogs, and run around the kennel. But then he could also go over here where, all right, now you're dependent on a lot more, and if you don't play good, y'all lose. If you play good, y'all win. And even if you play good, y'all might not win.
You play good, you at least get to the peak.
Hey, Q, on the side note, can I get some of them damn collard greens you had in there with that smoked turkey in there?
Oh.
Boy. Hey, boy,
that thing smell good walking in.
I got to get a little bowl of that. Yeah. Y'all hearing the fat boy on the
I
podcast.
talked to the old lady.
Yeah. And you need to hook that up. Tell her I got a tip.
I about to say you gotta have something good to go towards it. Something. You can't just hit no
tell her to take the fork and just flake one of them little pieces of turkey in there.
That thing fall to the bone.
Boy, I seen it. I had peeped it when I walked in. But that's my son. No way.
Yeah, but
damn, did we hit on?
Nah, but like what you were saying though, that's
Trey
great.
getting us distracted.
Yeah, that's great.
What you say? Throw a monkey wrench.
Yeah, that's a fat boy.
I always feel like with your kid though, you should always kind of put them in a situation that's going to be unfavorable for them.
Yeah,
you know, like you saying, you know, doing 3rd grade, 5th grade, and somewhat what we did last year as a coming off a freshman year, played 17U. Even with 8th grade, playing a different situation under a different coach. It allows them to see different things, hear a different voice, but also be receptive to different things as well.
The different voices, it matters.
It does, you know what I mean? Especially when you've heard one voice that can trigger that out of you. You know, it was like, and I always wanted to see for the guys I coached growing up, how they responded to someone getting it out of them. You know what I mean? And I've witnessed a lot of them be able to, you know, receive that from their current coaches, you know what I mean? Be it wherever they're, you know, whatever school, whatever level, that they can still, you know, turn up when they need to. So it's good seeing that though. But you gotta have different options, different sites, different views, different moments that builds up that ultimate character of being a dog. You know, so it's good to see. We all have kind of experienced that as a coach, but even as a dad, allowing our sons to kind of play on different situations where, you know, looking back at it 5-6 years ago, man, why you let your kid play with? I thought you was loyal. Like, nah.
Oh boy, don't bring that word up. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. That loyal word, y'all misused that. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. Y'all coaches program, stop using that word when y'all ain't loyal. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. We ain't gonna go there. Right? Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
That speaks a lot though. You want somebody to be loyal to you, but you ain't been
but you ain't loyal to them.
Yeah, that speaks volumes.
Y'all better cut that out.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah. All right. So let me see if we'll finish this off and then we can get into there was recently a open gym versus that did happen, but I guess finishing off that the conversation. I don't know if y'all answered it. We can answer it really quickly. So I do know we did start off about circuit finding like the right situation for your kid. Question that I did have, but I think we've already answered this previously about when is it important for your kid to play on a circuit, or if there's essential, like if it's essential for them to get on the circuit, in which like junior, sophomore year, trying to get to the best platform that you can. I think that we all unanimously agree that a lot of stages before there, you're seeing where your kid is on the the development stage, and so we can kind of skip that. But I did ask a question earlier. I did ask a question earlier that I would love for y'all to answer. Should a coach have a plan for each kid?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like, and when we're speaking on high school coaches,
you said
high school or AAU, like whichever way.
Well, okay, so
let's put it at the level of middle school and high school ball for now.
Yeah.
Well, I can speak from experience on that. So we kind of alluded to it before on a different show. Like I had a plan for the kids I coached in AAU from elementary to middle school to high school. And, you know, I had goals I had set for them to develop them in a way that they would be able to perform on each level. So, you know, from middle school, from elementary is about, you know, just getting better. Then going from that 6th grade year to that 7th grade year was like, yo, I want these kids to be on the team, for sure, make the team, but also be a part of what's going on, if not be the man. You know, 8th grade was about being that person that, you know, they going to
guy. Yeah.
9th grade, if you were in a position that you put yourself in, depending on what school you went to, you may play varsity and play, or you may play JV and dominate it. You know, checking those boxes. And then getting to 10th grade, you know, I want to see these kids that, depending on where they are, you should be playing varsity. Now, based on some situations, you're not going to play varsity where you are because it's a programming where they do things.
And politics.
Well, that too, but also more so just a program. And we're going to credit that program or those programs to just that. You know what I mean? But having that plan for each of those kids and even discussing that with their parents and being able to check those boxes off is very pivotal. So I feel like even on the AAU level or high school level, you have to have a situation where you're looking in the future for each kid.
Okay, and so with that, is there like a space where you're putting together like a plan for each specific kid? Like, all right, you are now starting to move into the mode of like a shooter that's coming off down screens, and like that's what you're gonna make your market. Or all right, you're moving into like this mode of, I don't know, a 94-foot small point guard that, you know, like you're going to be intangible leadership heavy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like making sure I overly cultivate that. Or, oh, dang, you was 6'3" in 6th grade, but now moving to 9th grade, you're still 6'3". And so like, I need to start working on developing your skill set when it comes to like guards and different things like that.
Because maybe you was a big in 6th grade, but then you ideally
like
a guard.
Like now I'm changing the plan and adjusting.
Yeah.
Is it important to do that for all the kids? Even like the kid like that's on the bench that can't catch the ball yet. All right. I need you to catch it next year. Next year, after that, I need you to know how to do it. You know what I mean?
But I'll say this before you go, Wayne. It is for that coach to do, but the coach needs to talk to the parent. I just had a talk with a parent this weekend, and he was talking about what his son should have been doing, right?
Yeah.
But then I followed that with, well, do you got him working on those reps?
Yeah,
because this is
what he should have been doing. Like,
so
like
I'm gonna tell you,
given the opportunity to do it.
No, he was in the game. He's a factor to the team. But what I mean,
saying like,
he need to go down there and he be in the posting. But are you giving him post reps? Is he with a trainer that's teaching him to catch face?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and pull up and jab and pull up, or is he catching drop step here? You know, pump faking, going up, smack. Are you giving him reps like that? Because it's easily to say what the kid should be doing.
Yeah,
but in that kid's mind, he's out there just playing. And you can't get mad at these kids. Like, again, like with these coaches, you gotta, if you see that, who you train with, go to the parent, who he train with, because he's a vital piece to what I'm doing. If he ain't training, he need to go here. I got a list of coaches on my phone. Send him over here.
Yeah.
He need to go. He need to work on this. I want him catching face and shooting mid ranges. I want him drop stepping and doing this and being fluent at it. So like you said, it's the coach's job, but he got to talk to the guys that he got in his phone.
No, I was.
You can't do it all. You know,
I guess that even leads to like a better question that builds off of this: whose job is it to develop a plan for that kid? Is it trainer?
So that's what I was going to say. No,
it
starts with the kid.
Yeah, it do. It
starts with the kid. Like, and I was going to kind of continue off what he was saying. Is like, whose is it? No. As a coach, I have a vision for where I see you could progress to. Okay. Now, what I need to know for as a coach, do you want that for yourself?
Do you want that as a kid? Do you want that as a player?
Like, do you see yourself even playing next level?
So this kid told me yes. So I'm gonna answer what you saying. Yeah. This is about this kid.
Yeah.
Yes, he wants that.
Okay, so now,
wait. Let me ask you this before you build on it. Keep building, but this is like just like another one of those questions that
let the beat build. Let the beat build. Right. Let the beat build.
Is at what age is a kid to be trusted in understanding what's best for their development? Because of like that kid might like Ja Morant.
Listen here,
but then like his game and what his features are, he might be a 1 foot jumper that can't shoot, and you know what I mean, might be an undersized guard. But this doesn't necessarily fit that archetype.
Right.
Or he might want to be Curry, but he ain't learned how not to shoot with his thumb yet.
But the coach still need to go.
But this is like saying
what
like
I was saying is right here. So
talking
about the kid, it don't matter what age, because literally It could be a kid in third grade and be like, I want to be great.
I want to be a ball player.
But what if he like his vision for his development?
That's for us to guide.
Well, let's go
for us to guide. So, for in a sense, for a kid, even at third, fourth, even second grade, to say
they have to decide that part. Yeah.
If they decided that early, be like, I want to be great. I want to be this. I want to be that. Okay, now you, in a sense, you may not understand what you're saying as far as I want to be like Jordan. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We understand what that means. I want to be great in a sense. So we're going to start reading in between the lines. So what did it take to be great? You've already determined that you want to be great.
Right.
So now I can take that and now build on that.
Right. But I'll say this, Wayne, right? This kid, I asked that because I'm a coach that asked that question.
For sure.
I'm going to say, do you really want to play? Do you really want to? Do you want to play at college? Do you want to do that? Because these coaches need to be probing these kids and in the AAU world, because you're wasting time on kids. What they say, I mentor. They say you can't save them all.
Yeah.
When you get into mentoring and talking to kids, they say, yeah, you're gonna have a heart to want to save them, but you can't save them all. So I use that approach in basketball when playing AAU. I asked the kid, do you want to play at least in college? You might not even want to play pro, but do you want to play in college? All right, well, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Right. So if the kid is saying that and he's saying he want to do it, right, it's me and your job now to have that conversation with the parent, because I'm going to tell you, sometimes these parents fail the kids, and I'm not bashing parents, but I will say, and I've had this talk, I'm going to just put it out there. Me and Q had this talk about my own son, right? And he was like, look, bro, at what point are you going to keep just letting him, are you going to step in because he say he want to do it?
Yeah.
Right. Like, ain't no shame in what going on with what I do. I'm just going to be real because it's why people tune in. But me and Q had this conversation. Like, it's not a bunch of kids that's saying, I want to go out and run 2 miles. And he's right.
Right. You're right about that part.
So it got to be to a point. This kid is going to have the metrics. He's going to be 6'7". He's going to be 6'7", 6'8". He didn't had time to play. It's 8th grade going to 9th grade year. Yeah. I told Papa Bear, hey, look, bro, you got to stop playing with him. That was my conversation. I ain't trying to tell you how to raise your son. He said he want to play. And he going to be that because dad's 6'5", 6'6", and he's treading and he like 6'4" almost now.
That's when you had that conversation. It's like this right here is like, okay, your child is invested.
Yeah.
Right.
What can I do?
Right.
To help you help him.
Right.
Right.
Because I have a vision for what I see he can do, and I understand what it's going to take to get to the next step.
Right.
So that kind of goes back to the original question. Should a coach have a plan? I have a plan for every
kid. Right.
Every kid. And that plan may lead to JUCO. That plan may lead to
a scholarship. We want a scholarship.
I want this kid to go get more of a higher education for free.
For free.
And
that's all that matters to me.
To go to where you was just at, specifically, what I was saying is, so if your kid expresses that they do want, like you said, want to be great.
Want to be great, yeah.
Most kids don't know exactly what that looks
like. What great
though.
Is, right?
But if they're bought into being great and wanting to be great, then I do think that it now becomes like a part of the village that you have to be able to direct them. Like a kid might not know, all right, directly running 1 mile a day helps me when it comes down to conditioning in my fourth quarter, and I'm gonna make a couple more threes because I got my legs under me.
Right.
They might not know that, but if you tell it to them, they might actually do it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So again, sometimes we evolve in teams and we raising teams right now.
Yeah.
They gonna forget to wash their ass, brush their teeth, like a bunch of things without reminders. You know what I mean? But that's a part of like,
and they'll practice hard as hell, like you said. Don't forget to do that, right?
Right. To where like this is a fact. You be like,
bro,
right. God damn,
right.
And we love our boys. We love our boys, but it is what it is.
If you got a teenage boy, this isn't like something that's an outlier,
right?
This is not nothing that's foreign to nobody.
Yeah. Them basketball moms tell you every single
everything.
time.
Damn, boy.
Right.
Yeah, but saying all that to say, like I do think that if the kid is bought in and they want to work, teaching them how to work, I think that that's its own different thing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily like leave that up to the kid to understand how to work as hard as you can, because they just have like whatever their elementary or middle school or high school level of understanding of it.
Yeah.
If like for you, like if you're a player that like you went through it, so you actually do know more in the sense of like what it takes to get that scholarship, go from this route to this route. I think you were saying the last week, you know what you didn't do that could have helped. You know what you did do that got you to XYZ.
Yeah.
And they don't innately have that. But if they have the want to be great, I think that it's a parent's job to help facilitate that.
Yeah. No, you absolutely right.
I'm going to be your biggest advocate when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Financially, Uber, whatever it needs to be. Like, once you told me and I see, you know, what your drive is, it's easier for me to support that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, in a sense, when parents get to that point to being able to see that it's not just me wanting it for you, you want it more than I want it for you.
Right.
So now is at that point where the old saying goes, help me help you.
And it's easy, Wayne, too, to as a parent, because I do it. I go to work, we all work.
Oh yeah.
And then you get home and you hit that couch and you might take a sip, right? And then you get that text. Shout out to Donnell Mack. We always shout him out. I hear you shout him. Shout out to Mac. Mac can hit me about 7 p.m. and say, hey, we live at 8:30. And I'll be like, whoo, 8:30, boy, I'm about to sleep.
Like, damn, boy,
and it's easy for you to just be like,
I just took that shot.
Right.
Too. Just took that
man,
shot.
I done took a shower. Then my old lady looking good.
Put my parlay in.
She,
got that, trying to
man,
watch
then
shit.
she done walked by with them shorts on. You like, man, you know, and then, but again,
trying to turn this to a different.
No, but I'm just talking about what parents do. We spinning back.
I get it. I'm just saying, you said, I came home.
But this is what we do.
Shawty got there, walk by.
Look, shawty.
He said, I took a shot.
Right.
Shorty, she walking by.
She got on my favorite shorts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm smelling them collard greens like what I'm smelling now.
Yeah,
you know, but again, we do that as parents. That's what I'm just leading up, and I'm guilty of it. We all are at some time. You get what I'm saying? And you'll use that as an excuse. I worked.
No,
then you failed the kid.
We'll let them use what we're saying, and we'll be like,
you ask them too. You want to work out today, knowing you don't want to.
And what they gonna say? What they gonna be like? Well, shit, you know what?
I ran at school today.
In our mind, we like, you know what?
Good, right. That's how we fail as parents.
Game about to come on. I done got comfortable in this spot and took the socks off. You know, when niggas take the socks off
and the parlay in, like
the parlay in. Oh man, I ain't going no damn well. You should have asked me that 3 hours ago.
Right, I ain't going nowhere now, Mac. I'll make up something, Mac. You know what I'm saying, boy? The car ain't acting right. But to your point though, as parents, we have to get past that. You got to get past that.
A lot of things what we're doing now, we're administering bad behavior.
And not the extra grind. Like
we're allowing them to see that we're accepting us
mediocre.
And so my cousin always says, I don't do average.
Right.
I don't care if it's my own goddamn child. I don't do average.
Right. We gotta be above.
And we have to stop allowing our kids to be average based on the fact that we can be average because we were past that point.
Right.
You know,
and we want to sit down.
We want to sit down. Long day at work. Q's exception because he works from home. He get to sit and chill.
But even with that, you
still want to. Nah, on the flip side, you want to get outside. You ready to get them do something else.
Right.
Like, I ain't trying to go sit.
My old lady like that. She'll sit there and be like, I'm going outside now. 6 o'clock.
But I mean, like
you
can work from home, but then if you got to do any task and concentrate on it for a long enough time,
I
work from home for 2.5 years, bro. That you look at the walls like they start closing in on you sometimes. Like
that's when you got to hit Starbucks.
Yeah,
and just sit there
and just go out there. See, you find you a location you can sit with free Wi-Fi, and just get a different work environment. That's the beauty of working from home, though. You get that free work environment.
Speaking of different environments, That's right. We did have an open gym versus at a different environment. It was Rock Hill. This can lead us into the conversation about early season takeaways.
Yeah, catch me outside. Be good, Wayne. Be good, man. You hear the peacemaker. Be good, man.
All right. But nonetheless, there was a quick duel between. We weren't coaching; we were just dads. We did have Suge Knight on the sideline, program director /
man, he calling me Suge. Don't do me like that, Q.
Hey, if you don't want your executive
all in the video,
all the videos.
Hey, look, come to We Just Hoop. Come to We Just Hoop. Adidas Gold. I got to put that on the back too. You know what I'm saying?
But no, you was on the sideline.
Yeah.
We were kind of spectating. We did. He caught one side of the sideline. I was on the other. Cheering.
Working it on.
Just, backside rotation.
Yeah.
You might have seen a couple of those.
Man,
he wasn't directly coaching.
Look,
That's
man, when it's in you, it's in you.
When it's in you,
it's in you, man. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna help. You're not gonna watch them get picked.
You know what? When it's respected that way, it's easy flowing.
Look, bro, I ain't one of them guys that say, hey, why you talking to the kid? No, bro. Like, if we here for them, right?
Yeah.
We here for them.
And I know one thing that I do intentionally. I don't, especially with my son or anything at all, I don't coach offense on the side.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or I don't yell or talk offense at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I will say defense all the time.
Yeah, get up in them. Get up in them.
A rotation, weak side, man back.
It's
It's like the small things that you would want.
Yeah.
Because the moment you start yelling any part, even if it's the other kid or whatever, it's gonna be some mama.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a little quiet, salty dad.
Yeah.
That's gonna feel away.
Okay.
All right. So what was your takeaway? And from there we can go to like you have started. Well, we start there. Just that. Yeah. Then we'll break it down to program.
Well, I'll say this. That weekend, I felt targeted.
Okay.
As a program, you get what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And I felt. I got to feel, not just in that tournament, even when I did the Phenom, it's like, okay, we done seen this Joker. And a lot of people ain't going to respect what you do. Shout out to people that's trying to build and you do things. Don't get discouraged. Keep going. Do what you do. Little do people know about me, the people not wanting to see me do good makes me thrive, to push harder to do good. I'm one of them guys. You get what I'm saying? But I just felt the target, because, it just both teams had to meet up with y'all, and it was fun to me.
Because you caught them in what, 2 different age groups?
Yeah,
right?
15.
Yeah, I was about to say it was 2 different age groups.
16. But all in all, man, it's fun. I don't run from smoke. Again, I wasn't here with Big Bro, but shout out Ed Cook. Like, he was the one, just a little quick thing. He was the one that brought me into the AAU world. Like, I was doing rec ball, and I was in the EA Prep Fall League and coaching the game with United. And a guy approached me after the game, and he said, my guy got a program going on, and he would, like for you to coach, you know what I'm saying? Well, one of the groups. And, from there, just, without Ed giving me the opportunity, I met y'all guys, you know what I'm saying? And I met a lot of people.
Trey, you goddamn walked out the gym in the middle of goddamn practice,
second grade. But you know, hey, look, but you know why though? Because we ain't gonna bring the other party into it, but it was confusion. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, I don't beef over basketball. But, just getting into this thing, man, like, I just felt the target. I felt the heat. And that game was heated.
Was it just for that weekend you felt the heat, or just since you started this particular?
Since I started, I think guys just coming like, I want to see what he got. I want to see if he, and look, we ain't scared. Like, if I say that.
I feel like that's the lay of the land right now, especially when you put something out there. It's like, you're going to be tested by the masses.
Right. Let me see who he say.
Especially when you put yourself on a certain level that others feel like they've been on,
right,
and you
right.
may not have earned that.
And they feel like you haven't earned that.
They feel like it. They don't know,
but they don't know the groundwork.
They're outside looking in,
right?
So inside
right.
looking out, it's like, nah, I put the work in.
Yeah.
So
bro, I done been through some.
I can feel where that heat comes from. You know, when you step on that court, or even walk in the gym together.
And I love when the team, like, we played a team before at Phenom, and they just look like he ain't never seen them. Like they just look at you and downplay you. Like,
was that
who is that?
It was a team out of Durham.
Yeah, They just look at you like.
But that's how it was at our first game.
Yeah,
there it was like the team out of the Georgia. They look at us like,
like, who is that?
Who is them?
Yeah,
right.
They
I
love
that
jerseys yet either.
And they had a player that posed that being, you know,
one of the
highly
guys.
talented player
I didn't know that.
For the Georgia Swarm team.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be the big guy, matter of fact, the athletic kid.
He got a dunk early in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was highly talented, you know, touted as a you know, high elite player. So it was like, oh, he better come in. It's like, oh, okay. Cool.
20-piece nugget.
20-piece nugget with a side of barbecue sauce.
But all in all, it was fun to see y'all.
Yeah.
And it like always.
You said the game was heated.
Man, look, it felt like third, fourth grade again. When me and you was on the other side coaching against United.
Yeah.
It felt like that. And I seen the emotions, and I bash my son all the time. I ain't gonna say I bash him, but I just keep it real about him. But he showed up to play for that game. He showed up, to play.
He led his troops that game.
Yeah.
And, you know, he really established himself as a lead guard to be known.
Right.
You know, and given the game itself, it was, you know, one coach would say, well, we ain't play that well, while another coach would say, well, you know, we should have won.
But look,
you're gonna get that.
But you're gonna get that.
Yeah.
But my thing is, you know, the last 2 years wasn't that good for him, right? I just wanted to see how he would react
to your guys. You referring to your son, right?
Yeah, your guys, varsity, he JV, and like he showed me that he still could be in the room and play with these guys. Like I know, but again, to spin back with what we were saying. As a parent, I failed him 2 years just to show him a lesson. Though I wanted to teach him. The biggest thing, I'm big on experience and just teaching.
Yeah,
like, look, bro, you think you good enough. This was my whole thing, but you're not. So I wanted to show him you got to work. Like, you can't live off of fourth grade year that you was pretty decent. You played good in these games that we talk about against United and whoever. You can't. That's fourth grade, bro. Like, you're in high school now.
You only as good as your last game.
Right.
Pretty much.
So, and it ain't all about him, but I just wanted to shout him out. Certified MTP. You showed up. You played in that game. You played pretty good. And I usually, you know, say, you know, not bad things, but I just keep it real about you and your grind. And I want to big you up, you know, but it was a good game with y'all, man. Y'all got us. But I wanted that win. You know, I wanted that win.
I mean, that would have been a staple win for your program.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
age group early, especially given the players off that team that y'all are playing against. Right. You know, not saying they're the
it ain't even about that. It's like you said, it would have been good for me.
Yeah, for sure. Because that would have been a good stepping stone to be like, okay, you know what? They were where y'all are last year.
Right.
You know, they were there. They were gold last year.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and they've moved to a different situation. So it's good to see where y'all are in comparison to where they were last year.
And it's good to see my guys didn't lay down. It was tooth and nail, the whole joint.
This is one thing I'll say. Let me try and just give a synopsis of a couple things. I think this one was interesting. One, because of not being on the sideline at all. Yeah. Like, usually a lot of like those heavy contentious games, I'll be on the sideline. Yeah. I end up having to be like, hey, I need you to coach a little bit. My head hurt.
Right, man.
I done got dehydrated from yelling too goddamn much, and you know.
Right.
I don't know. I had an aneurysm.
Yeah. That's what happened.
I caught a vein in the back of my neck.
Yeah, he was like, hey, he said, yo, get me. I'm sitting down.
I said, before my brain explode.
He said, I'm sitting down. I said, I got you.
Go ahead and coach this thing, bro. The parents was like, what happened to coach?
Nah. You know when it's time to sit down.
Yeah. That vein.
Yeah.
So, like, this time, I'm just, like, literally on the sideline. I'm able to, you know, walk off on bad plays, come back on good plays, and just, you know what I mean, just be like in full parent mode. So I thought that was good. Two, I would say that you had a group that understood the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And where I think with like the other group, the group that our kids play on, the rest of the kids didn't understand the moment. Like say, our sons probably like they could understand.
Right.
Like, about four of our kids that really understood the moment.
I was gonna say about 3 or 4 understood what was going on
for sure.
Because 2 of them. They've been with y'all. Y'all 2 knew, but 2 of them for sure knew.
Yeah,
but
the one from Monroe, and the other one, Big Boy. Yeah.
So that's why I say we got 4 that really understood.
Yeah,
like,
but you got to think like even when you think starting it, so it was a bunch of kids that didn't necessarily understand. All right, they actually coming up for a net right now. Why?
Yeah,
like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
Why?
Oh, now when they hit their 3, he talking. Right?
Oh yeah,
he talking.
Hey, my boy was talking to you. I said, "Oh, he locked in."
Oh, I love.
Oh yeah, because he said you said something to him first. And he came down here. He said, and I seen him throw the little 3 gun that just said, "Oh, Wayne got him going." I said, "Wayne got him."
I loved it though, cause
I said he got my boy going though. That's what Wayne do.
He gave me the look like.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm
right
here.
To say like, nigga, I'm here. Like,
yeah.
He had respect as a me being adult, You could tell the kid face. Like, I've been around a lot of kids that just say this shit. He was looking like, nigga.
Look, but what we say about you just in general years prior, you get kids going.
I'm gonna get the bat. Even my opponent, I didn't got the batting pack of my damn opponents before. Because but I love to see
it makes the environment.
I love to see kids at their best and competing at the highest level.
And that was the best I've seen them play.
Mine and opponents. Because you know what? That brings out the best basketball everybody on that court.
Everybody said in our group, they was like, man, that game was good.
Oh, yeah, it was. Y'all jumped out on the stage.
Oh, we did, man. But
it was a moment where if y'all hit a couple key shots, y'all was at about like 10.
Yeah.
Might have got to like 12.
Literally, y'all negated our tops.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It was playing B's that won that game. Just to be honest with you, like it wasn't the playing A.
No,
the playing A's.
Right.
It was the playing B's and even a C that won that game.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, that's kudos to what y'all are doing.
Shout out to game planning. I heard y'all had a little game planning.
Oh yeah, well I had to whisper something. You know? I'm gonna tell you,
there was some front and denying going on.
Look, hey, look. First of all, I know what my boy do.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, we hugging him.
And he told me, he was like, damn, I ain't never been
I said, look, and look, my boy started it.
Oh, no, for sure.
He started with the spread. He said, what's the spread? Go ahead and sit in that what y'all want to. I said, oh, you know that
parlay was in.
I said, hey, look.
I said, listen, we would love it if
you sit in that.
Y'all could just stay in that 2-3 that we
man. Look,
these plays on.
No. I told him, and he wasn't trying to hear me. I said, look, this is the game plan. Hug him.
Yeah.
Hug little him.
Yeah.
And put my athletic on him.
Yeah.
And this is why we rocking. If it go left, it go left.
And that first game we played, that's why I got ugly. It came out in the zone.
Oh, I already know.
Brother, like shit.
Look, I watched y'all the game before, and I seen little bro come volleyball line. I said,
bro, looking like, you ain't coming out here.
Oh yeah. Oh, let me show you.
Let me show you real quick.
Right. Nah.
Let me show you. This range is there.
We hugging him.
We hugging.
Anytime we see y'all, we hug. Let bro know.
Oh,
he working for that 3.
The funny part about it is we seen it in Augusta.
Yeah.
It's like we starting to see.
They
teams
know.
Or
They're
watching
scouting.
film.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So any baller TV action like that's out there,
that first
they're
game,
using it.
Yeah,
that was you could tell the team had came in and they identified.
Okay.
So yeah, like his son, my son, if they ever gave the ball up, they wasn't gonna get it back.
They weren't getting it.
It was gonna be like a full deny.
Yeah, we talking about. 94 feet. You took that bitch out of bounds? Oh, I'm denying from that point right there. That point on.
Yeah, and that was kind of the game plan. Everybody else still kind of like sit back. Yeah. But once you seen it was like, oh, all right, they kind of have to game
that's
plan.
Good.
And that's kind of what you want. Saying all that to say, well, before we
they'll let you know we taking away the takeaways. Right? They'll let you know.
Before we get into the takeaways, it was a thriller of an ending.
Yeah.
There was a couple things that I did as a coach, or using coach eyes that I thought was interesting, even like with that final play, where I was watching it back with my son, and it goes to like the game plan I said. There was a point where I think, did y'all make the layup?
Yeah.
Y'all made a layup, and well, it was a layup or a jump shot. It might have been like 8 seconds left. Inbound happens, coming down. Whoever the person is, you told them
defensive rotation.
Well, no, not this. You say do not let Zion get the ball.
Yeah.
So
that
watching back on the film,
it
was a full face guard.
It was a face guard the whole time. I mean, like,
so then,
what up, bro? How you doing?
Right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, bro. I'm right here.
Yeah. So my son, he takes it down, gets into the lane, throws it the left hand, misses it. Shout out to Biggs for crashing boards.
Yeah.
And one on a layup. On a layup at the end, just off a weak side rotation.
Yeah.
And which, like,
and I was gonna say that defensive breakdown. That it again.
But in those moments though, what happens a lot is once a shot goes up, you go back and watch film. Defensively, if you're not taught to be in those moments, the first thing you
crack
do,
back, right? Yeah.
Head goes up.
Yeah.
You watching the ball where offense don't stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Offense don't stop.
Right.
The motor of those on offense, especially the rebounders, don't stop.
Right.
So you got a kid like Barry who's lived off those moments of just nonstop.
Well, I'll tell you this: right before that happened, one of my guys, Cooper, flagged it and turned it over in a pivotal moment.
Not Cooper flagged it.
Cooper flagged it, and I'm a Duke guy. But I had a talk with him. Yeah, I had a talk with him. I said, look, in this moment, I told you, because he's right now, he's learned, he ain't got pace yet, but he just this. He'll go. But I told him, I said, in this moment, I told you to slow it down. I told you to slow it down and run the action that's been working, right? And he missed it. You get what I'm saying? And he just ran, and you get a no call, right? But you can't blame the refs because you don't want the game to go down to that situation. If you wait a little bit and you get what I was asking you,
but y'all scored on the last bucket though.
No, that one key joint. But I had a talk with him. Nah, it was a pivotal situation where if we would have, it was towards the end.
Okay, you ain't talking about like within the last 2 possessions.
It was kind of like right near there because he went in and missed, and y'all went down, and that happened. So my guard didn't.
Oh no, all right. So I say the last play, because I do remember the last play of the game.
Yeah,
y'all made the shot.
Yeah, that might have been Isaiah.
Yeah, that was a tie. That was a tying shot.
Yeah,
shout out to to me. I watched something like 5 times. Just look at everybody.
Yeah.
So y'all made the shot.
Yeah.
Coach turned, talked big shit on the sideline.
Yeah.
And then like you see, this is Baller TV.
Yeah.
So
oh
like,
yeah.
It's gonna pan with.
Oh yeah. You see it. Yeah.
So cuz made it.
Yeah.
Nice glistening ball head. I think he got and so like you see the little shine.
Right.
And if you look closely, it's Steam. He's hyped.
Yeah.
And it's again the pan. So now I'm looking. I see the deny happen.
Like,
right,
yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I'm saying, all right, Q's thinking, all right, shit. Let me get downhill, get a shot up.
Yeah.
And then you see the rotation. Then you see, shot makes. You see one parent. They might not been keeping the score for us. Got in the course.
Yeah.
You see the like. So I don't watch it enough to where like you can break down everything.
Hey.
And you kind of see it.
Shout out to them parents that go over there. Yeah. Carolina Bulldogs, that the mom group over there, I seen them in Phenom. Boy, she told that ref, yeah, fuck you and that whistle. Choke on the whistle, nigga. I'm like, man.
And I will say before we move off of that, I did like what I seen out of it. That was the first time I seen the Caden kid.
Yeah,
really good.
He tough. He tough.
He played really.
Where'd he play
good.
at?
He's raw, but Mallard Creek.
He got bumped up late in the season. I want to say
he did.
Like real late.
He's still raw, but he's a competitor. One thing I like about him, he ain't bad. He coming to you every time, and he trying to lay you. Yeah, and that's what I like about him.
You can tell he competed in practice.
Oh yeah,
like he really
He coming
was
at
one
you,
of the
bro.
ones, even on JV or whatever it may
Bro,
have been.
he
was
coming at you, bro.
every day. He was trying to bring his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could see that inside his play.
Yeah.
Like you could say he was up for the moment.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
he was.
Oh yeah.
You put all right.
Yeah.
I'm
To the fact,
yeah.
I thought the spectator was his
Yeah,
dad.
oh, yeah,
I thought
yeah,
the spectator
yeah,
was
yeah,
related to that
yeah.
person.
Nah.
The way they were going at it,
Yeah.
and I was like, hey, you got every right to be where you
Yeah.
at right now.
Him and my boy Zay. Shout out to Zay, number 23.
I think
Mr.
Khalid
Fundamentals.
played,
he played
good
great
Mr.
defensive game.
Yeah, I think he played a good one as well. But saying all that to kind of segue into, we have all stepped into the AAU world, the travel ball world, the circuit world a little bit this season, and we can kind of go into some early takeaways. I know that Open Gym Podcast, we did get to go down to Icebreakers down in Georgia, where we've seen some 3SSB versus EYBL action, some P32 versus 3SSB action, some just across the board good matchups that was happening with a lot of circuit teams playing against each other. We all have kids that are playing as well. So, just being able to see them in general. And you have a full program that's getting inducted into this whole Adidas Gold circuit play. So far, I know that you said that you felt like there's a target on your back. Outside of that, what are some takeaways when it comes down to circuit ball so far, or the travel season this spring so far?
Yeah, I'd say, man, I got a group that compete. We not, when you look on paper or you look at, you like, who are they? And I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like to be the John Doe. You know what I'm saying? Because John Doe can, knock you out and chin check you, Yes, so, but the takeaways, man, I've seen some good guard play. The teams that we've seen, I feel like we right there. I say that my team is rather raw, and anybody that know me know that I love those type of kids that you could pour into, the kids that slept on, and they're gonna come out and just play hard for you. But I've seen some good stuff, and I just feel like we right there. Like anybody would tell you, they got a program. You can never have enough 6'8s. You know what I'm saying? We got
basically, bro, saying if you out there and you don't like your program,
come to We Just Hoop, man.
Dancing in the videos.
If you tired of the executive producer on the videos,
all in the videos,
dancing, rapping, want to be on the song, come to We Just Hoop.
Come to We Just Hoop. But no, all in all, just from what I seen, got to see y'all. And I wanted to check out the Icebreakers because I seen the big mix of P32, EYBL. I wanted to see all that. I
think you had P32, you had Puma,
Puma,
you had Adidas,
3SSB,
Triple SB, and you had EYBL, EYCL.
Yeah.
So it was good to see
the mix.
Only thing I didn't see was Under Armour. They wasn't really
okay.
I don't think they had a team.
No, Under Armour didn't have a team,
but everybody else was.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't know if Under Armour has a team in our age group that is like. I know
between like Georgia and
I know B Mays out of Tennessee, but I don't really know of any
teams that's like out there.
Yeah.
Well, Accelerate.
Team Accelerate,
because they did that merger with New World.
Then Andrew Wiggins elite too, though.
Okay,
I just started seeing. I seen that. Not Andrew, but Aaron Wiggins. Aaron Wiggins,
yeah. But they haven't played yet, right?
No, I ain't seen that.
They did something at Phenom because I did see Zay from North Mech playing some games.
Yeah, he does.
So I did, and I think Alec playing on that team too from North Mech. So good. But for the most part, we've seen some decent teams down there. Like, we've seen 101 Prep. We've seen the team who played the first game, last game. It really gave an opportunity to really see where we are.
Yeah, where you are.
And I think even playing the 101 Prep, that was their first game, kind of hear what they had been doing prior to that. That was their first time kind of their group playing together.
Is that the group with Cruz?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was actually a good game. the score may not show it because at the end, you know how it
go
goes.
break down
2 or
at
3
the
minutes.
end. If you don't keep competing,
but
well, more than that, just like when you get in the run and jump trap, to try and muck it up because the game might have just pushed to.
Then
like
you got
9
someone that they just shooting layups. You know what I mean? So and credit to them. Nothing taking nothing away from them and everything, but it was great to kind of just see different levels, and not even some of that shit we played, just watching, just seeing a new team put together out of Georgia, the 4x44.
Oh yeah.
How they look?
Carolina kids on it too.
They tough.
Yeah,
and they long. Pause.
Yeah, pause.
They're long. You know what I mean? You're talking about you got a 6'9", 16 wing.
Oh man, what?
Taj that you play with CP3, he's on that team. You got a kid, I want to say Makai. It's Makai. Makai from Queens Grand's on that team.
Yeah.
So what's this thing called?
It's called 444 Athletics out of Georgia. They got a kid named Micah that played with TSF last year, 2 years ago with Darius and Renard and all them out of Georgia. He's tough.
Can I ask this question real quick?
Yeah.
Why does it seem like some of our kids like to play for the other state versus, like if they can't make your squad, or not even if they can't make it, like, why don't you come? You know what I mean?
Well, because
it's a platform thing.
Yeah, it's a platform thing. Yeah. And then when you're out of state, you're considered a little more. Yeah, it's a little more. So you're a little bit more appreciated when you're doing the out of state versus your own in state.
Yeah,
and sometimes you don't find a situation in state that works for what you want for your kid. Goes back to what we're saying: find the best program for your kid. Sometimes it may be stepping outside the state. Sometimes it may be going to Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia. States that touch our state. So you're gonna get different situations to where you look at it, be like, you know what, I get it. Like I told him, I get it. He's out there. He has a defined role. He may not be starting, but he's playing good minutes. Oh
yeah.
He has good size. He's about 6'5" now.
Oh yeah,
6'6",
I seen him. He is huge. I was like, shoot.
And he's found himself. And that's what you want to see from these kids. That we kind of looked at a video earlier saying, stop putting your kids with their friends. And he's one of those kids is like, you know what? Going to where he went is like stepping all the way out the box.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I need to start doing it.
Hey, you got to think about it. I haven't seen Isaiah, I hate to mispronounce it, like Whitsett.
What's that?
He's playing with Boo Williams.
Yeah.
Hey, it's outside the norm, but it may be the best fit for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get to that point as
Let
a parent,
you do a little more.
As a parent, as a child, hey, I want what's best for me. I love playing with the homies. I love playing with bro and them, but hey, I need to get from what's me.
Can we get to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood music? Can we just get right there? Look, what Wayne said, guys.
Yeah.
Stop playing with your friends.
It was fun. It's fun elementary. It's fun middle, especially for the parents that known each other a long time. They get to go on these trips and chill. You get
the cabin out and stuff.
Yeah, get the Airbnb together. You got them get the bottle that y'all share.
That ain't gonna get you a scholarship.
Ain't gonna get you not shit.
All right, so that's fine.
Okay.
PSA announcement. Quick PSA.
Yeah, I guess so. For me, just watching, I thought that it was interesting seeing a lot of cross circuit competition.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, to me, one of the bigger things that as you see them play, there's not a big drop off when it comes down to talent across the circuits. And that was something that I was kind of just paying attention to from like whichever circuit you want to name out. There wasn't like this big drop off. Like I think I seen like a 3SSB versus EYBL. Everybody's equally sized. Everybody's equally. I seen a Puma versus like a P32. I seen like a P32 versus 3SSB. All these games were like super hyper competitive.
Yeah, I think I want to say was that Game Elite versus the 4-4.
Yeah,
the 444 Athletics. That was
that was a good game.
So Josh Smith was coaching the Game Elite team. Yeah, and it looked like it was some pro players on the other side because I seen a good 6'9", 6'10" dude over there.
Yeah.
So it was like they really built up. And it's funny because I remember,
Josh Smith had a program.
Josh Smith
though,
he had his own lane within the Atlanta Celtics. It was called J Smooth Athletic.
Yeah,
J
right.
Smooth Celtics.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's actually kind of moved on to like the Game Elite and kind of just sitting there behind the bench and listening to him coach. It's like, hey, Nick,
I'm right there.
You know some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just, like they say, just because you play the game on me, you know it and can coach it.
Yeah.
He was doing a good job. And he had his players coached up. He has a nice guard. It's about 6'3", 6'4".
Is that the kid? You talking about the kid?
It looked like a football player.
He looks like Anthony Edwards.
He looks like just like, but he's
Anthony
left-handed.
Edward built.
But he's left-handed.
He
can go.
Yeah, I seen him. He did this
go.
like he'll snatch the rebound, and it'd be like on almost like a banana, where he'll tell whoever the kids was or whoever was right there in the crowd, like I'm about to go down and get to it. You come down.
Yeah, like you can tell Josh Smith done put the pack in, bro.
Yeah.
Pause.
Ooh, but that's what I wanted to see. I'm like, I couldn't log on and see it.
And I'm a switch gears a tad bit.
Mm-hmm.
I also seen some elite level women's basketball.
Oh yeah, they did have the girls.
Elite level women's basketball. Palmetto out of South Carolina.
Yeah,
they're on the EYBL circuit. Then I seen the AEBL, which is Atlanta Entertainment Basketball.
Oh yeah.
They had a good couple of groups down there that was tough. So it was some elite level basketball all the way around both sides.
Man, I hate we missed that because I would have loved to have been down there.
Oh no, I actually took some film of one game I was watching on the women's side that was like, yeah, she going deep, she going big, power five, power five. Like they was out there.
Yeah,
17U, and I mean it looked the part. It looked the part. You talking about 6'3", 6'4" females out there? Yes, sir, on both sides. So like you talking about not only seeing elite level men's and young men's basketball, seeing game elite 17U, you seeing even EA Prep, Georgia Stars.
Savage was down there. Did you get to see him with Savage, the guard?
For what team?
Oh yeah. You talking about
game elite, ain't he?
Yeah, he played against.
That's the little guard with the braid.
Savage.
Kevin Savage.
He did very well.
Yeah, he was playing with game elite.
He caught a dunk played against 2 feet. 2 hands. I wouldn't expect.
It looked like he done grew too.
He's a shorter guard.
Yeah, with LeBray's light skin.
Yeah,
they play against EA Prep 17. He called him a bang bang.
I didn't see that game.
He sounded like motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I missed that one. I seen when they was playing against. It was 3SSB versus EYBL.
Okay.
What's the
Georgia Stars?
Yeah, they played Georgia Stars. That's
okay.
Game Elite played Georgia Stars.
I seen that. I watched that game. Yeah.
Who
was in it together? Matter of fact, watching that game.
Yeah. But Georgia Stars, they got a really good team. They got a lot of length in which, like the matchup was good. The coaching was good. Yeah, like you could see it. I was also sitting beside a Caribbean mom. When I tell you she was pissed about something,
and she let everybody.
She was getting to it on the phone. Then still was getting back to it, and like just one of them parents where after every tournament they never coming back. But that's after every tournament.
It's almost like I hate to be that coach in that moment. To deal with that shit and get that call. Because you don't get that call on the way home. On the way home.
Oh yeah.
When you done put your kids up, you done de-escalated from the whole day.
He might have heard that after the game.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, y'all. So we're on circuit ball, early season takeaways. Some quick tips. Y'all are all veterans to this travel ball.
Yeah.
Quick tips that you would give parents that's new to this whole travel ball season circuit whole thing. What are some travel ball hacks for new parents walking into this?
Hey, I will say this before you go,
because I'm about to give a goddamn hell of a hack.
Wait a minute. I gotta give flowers to my boy Q over. He is like one of the best host and questioning guys. He comes up with questions that I'm like,
you like my guy
man,
from
I'm telling
Gil's
you,
Arena.
bro.
You gotta put like Josiah from goddamn Gil's Arena, bro.
Put some respect on my boy right here, man. He come up with the questions, man. I just had to give you a shout out.
Listen, the way
how you flow into it,
that part.
Yeah, you
Not
kind
to
of
pat myself
you
on the
elite.
back.
Nah, you elite, bro. I can't even say you intermediate. You elite, bro. Put some respect on Q. Man.
All
Appreciate
three
it.
of y'all.
Travel hacks. Talk to me, fellas.
Get on Amazon,
This is
Walmart.com and order a bag of bands of different colors.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
goodness!
is
Don't listen to this dude. Right?
no.
You better listen.
No, you better listen, or you're gonna be paying.
And this is
you're
also
gonna be paying 30 or 20, anywhere from 25 to 35 per day to get in the game. So you better find out a parent that's already there. Find out what color the band is.
That's what I do.
And you goddamn order them bands, and you put one on, and you Gucci. You just flash it. So the key to it is, you walk in like you belong.
Yeah.
Don't walk
you
in
can't
like you
look. You
don't be looking around like you nervous, you scared.
Right.
You
You
walk
gotta
in
walk.
like you been there already. Like you walk in with your chest up, goddamn
Right.
it. Hey,
Head
goddamn,
up.
hey, you need something like you walk in like you already been there. Like
Get
we ain't
on
got
that
time.
phone too. Oh
On
yeah,
that phone,
yeah. What you got going on?
Yeah, we in the game,
I'll
bro.
be
The
there.
game started at 12. You coming?
Yeah,
All right, cool.
I'm in here
I'm
now.
already in here now.
Yeah, and I
That's
guess
one hack for sure.
If I was to continue to piggyback on that, like you said, get the solid colors, but it is also important to have the glitteries.
Yes, sir.
Because some
You gotta
sometimes
have
they,
the
they,
glitter.
Believe we haven't.
Nah, fuck that. I'm saying these parents got no look. So funny part about we in Augusta, right? I just happened to be on Facebook, and the girl, she says on Facebook, "Yo, getting into an AAU tournament is a goddamn financial."
It is.
And I said, "Yo, we just talked about it on the podcast,
right?"
I said, and I sent it the shit on Facebook. Yo, go to Amazon, go to Walmart.com and order the bands, different colors, and find out what color the band
these
is.
two, boy, I can't do y'all. Tonight,
Nah,
man.
but it's real shit. Like, I'm sorry. Hey, sorry. Look, so what's gonna happen is they're gonna stop.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you,
they're gonna stop doing bands,
right? Hey, they're gonna do what Adidas doing.
They gonna
that
goddamn
damn passport shit. Y'all out of pocket for that. $75.
Oh no,
boy.
So we had to do this shit last year going to Cali.
Man,
luckily we was blessed, but I can imagine what it was for those parents that did travel. Was like,
bruh,
you gonna
I
get
said,
hit.
boy, man, what?
Are y'all going to Cali?
No.
So you gonna stay away?
We doing Kansas City,
with all other ones.
Yeah, Kansas City and Nebraska. Yeah, we gotta do it.
Got you. Nah, but that's
but what I would do on the band stuff, I probably would hit you and be like, boy, let me get that.
Oh no! Or the hack is ask them to put the band on loose. Tell them that you're allergic to the shit on your skin, so you can actually slide that motherfucker off and goddamn give it to somebody else.
He said allergic to your skin. Hey, you hear?
I'm putting y'all on hacks because it's an investment, y'all. And I understand these tournaments are not cheap. Hey, it is what it is. Tournament director, I got you.
Another one that I would say would be if you don't mind doing a little work. This is kind of if we move away from the like the bands and all that. It's just one of the more classic hacks that you hear. Talk to your coach, talk to your program director, tell them I will keep score. I'll do the books. Like it's depending on the tournament. A lot of times the home team has to have somebody that's running the books.
Yep.
And if you make yourself a valued person within the organization, they'll be like, all right, we'll get you a coach, man.
You band up.
Like you'll see
it.
This happens with the team mom a lot. Like a lot of times, especially if it's a coach that don't really got a big staff. Yeah. Team mom. Like I got you. You do all the administrative.
I was giving them shits away when I was just be with myself. Oh yeah. Well, I would say another hack is also when it comes to traveling, get outside of yourself. What I mean by that is talk to some parents.
Yeah.
It may be cheap to do an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Versus trying to do a hotel for the weekend or the week. Think about doing an Airbnb and you collab. And even presenting the idea to your coach is like, I found the 5-bedroom, 4-bedroom Airbnb.
Bump that Wayne. You got a room? Oh, I'm sleeping on the floor. I throw you 100.
Oh no,
I throw you 100.
No, that's old school too now.
I throw you 100, or you got to pull out.
Hey, you remember some of them hotels still got cots now,
right? They pull it out.
They can bring that rollaway bed up there now.
Hey, me and Tony on the way. I got 100.
Look, we are not at the
and
hotel.
I got food and gas.
We are not at the hotel for pleasure.
No,
we here to sleep,
for business,
shower, and get ready for tomorrow.
Back. We ain't in this mud.
So if we understand that part,
minutes.
we can. Hey, give me the extra cover off the top of the bed.
Right.
Give me one pillow. You give me one pillow. We gonna figure this shit out, and we gonna save money.
Yeah, another good travel hack is even if y'all get different rooms, if y'all book at the same hotel,
Carpooling, yeah.
Carpool. You can cut down that gas
and on food travel. Because what y'all can do after the games, like we used to always do, we'll order some food collectively.
Yeah. Get some wings, some
pizza,
yeah,
whatever it may be, and we gonna sit down and fellowship together.
Yeah.
So now you're bringing the boys back together on an off-court situation. Now they're talking about everything but basketball.
Yeah. Stay away from them combo meals.
Stay away from combo meals. Like I say and it's funny part, but my son says, "Yo, Dad, I feel like this is one of the best trips. The trip we took to Spooky Nuke for May Hoops finale."
Okay.
My son said that's one of his favorite trips because
is that when it was like a TikTok dude that was running around the hotel?
YPK Ray.
Yeah.
YPK Ray was there. I ended up meeting him. He came to sit down and talk. We chopped it up. We talked to him about 3 or 4 hours. I had his actual number at the time. Not saying
Right.
But to the boys, it was, oh, you got his number, coach? Like you talk, like, bro, we chopped it up for about a good 4 or 5 hours, really on some real type shit though. But the boys ran around. It was a girls made hoops too at the same time. So they run around, divided. They 4 here, 4 there. They own it. You know what I mean? But those are the memories that they take with them forever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially when you got like Wyatt out there. Wyatt was doing his thing. He dipping into the chocolate.
We had a trip like that.
We had fun though. You know what I mean? And even when the parents have fun, you know what I mean? Like there have been times we've been, overly too much fun.
Oh yeah. But that's what it's about though.
That is
overly too much fun, but we forget that,
Nah, but that's what it's about though.
That's what it's about because in a sense, when we make these trips, these are our vacations as well.
It is.
You know what I mean? So I can't necessarily make it a full vacation, but any moment I get to be cool with other adults and be in the moment and chill, those are also moments I look back at as a parent and as a coach that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I'd say that this is a travel hack. I don't know if it's a hack, but it's a hack for like parent experience.
Share that bottle.
Share
that bottle.
I would say I like to book hotels that do have a bar.
Yeah.
Because it's always a common fellowship area, and you end up like just meeting and finding people, and just have a decent lobby. As long as you got a decent
nice lobby.
If it come with a host, with the bar, you just get to after the game, everybody get to chill and be humans.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The kids, they always gonna find their own little thing to do. But I did find that started making the travel even more of an experience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and as
a
parent, like you said, like we're spending so much money on travel ball to where you want to get something out there.
Something out of it. Yeah.
To where at least like shit, if I can get like a little 2 hours of parent time just out here kicking it with the coaches, the parents, like you said, fellowship and get to meet a couple guys. Like I done met guys that we met that like coach for like team final.
Yeah.
And then I'm just at the YMCA hooping. I'm like, damn, you look familiar. I met you up in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You coached 16s for team final.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then you be like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
And this would be like randomly at the, just runs, adult runs at the Y and shit like that. And I'd be like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
But like, those would be the things that you said that you sit with and you'd be like, I was able to as well, not saying that any of this is like specifically about us, but there's a part where we're not just the Ubers. So we're like being able to enjoy the parent experience as well is a bit of a hack.
And it's a big part of it.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy where you at, bro, but you gotta look at it like this. I'll tell my parents now, we family.
Nah.
So we gonna be with you. We gonna be together for these next 6-7 months. We gotta be able to tolerate each other, like each other. If we don't, I mean, we can.
Well, I feel like that's what the biggest part. Like my team kind of staying together from youth on up was like the fact the parents were cool.
Right.
The moms were cool, the dads were cool. You may have maybe a one-off situation where they don't necessarily partake.
Right. They're just there for the situation.
They're just there, but for the most part, if you got 10 kids and 8 parents are chilling, you're doing something good. And on top of that, these kids gonna stay together and around each other a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Now it gets to that point where as they get older, it's like, all right, now
you gotta leave your friends.
You gotta leave your friends, and as a parent, I gotta leave my friend.
That's also big. Yeah.
So that's big as
a hack in itself.
Yeah,
especially
and your friends too.
You see a lot with moms. When it comes to that, it's like moms they click up real quick. Mm-hmm. Well, not real quick, but when they click hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard for them to separate. It's like I want to be around. Want to be around Destiny, Destiny and her son, we've been well, Mom, Destiny's son ain't, he's on the vapes now. He don't even smoke. He don't even play like that no more. So we don't even play with bro, or he playing 2 sports now, or he's more of a football player, more of a baseball player, more of a he ain't even ball in the basketball like I am no more. So you don't have to try to build, but it takes parents a while to get to that point as well, to where they stop looking at the relationships they formed over the years as far as a reason why they don't want to separate from a certain organization or a certain team to be, build what's best for their own son or daughter.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. So we have a question, but I'm gonna play this video first to kind of segue us into the next part of the conversation. But before that, I was gonna go NIL. I was gonna go like public versus private, but something did happen this past weekend. Something did happen.
Bring that shit up. Pull that shit up.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen one of these guys over here wearing a new jersey before.
I should have wore it tonight, but I'm open gym tonight.
But
and we appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm gonna push play on this. I think he does talk about Cooper Flag maybe coming back or not. But after that, I want to get your opinion on. We can segue to college hoops a little.
That's the same KD talk they had,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Should Cooper Flag
college? He loves just being around the guys.
Go get that bag. Go get that. Stop playing.
Flag return to Duke and run it back with the Boozer twins and try to win a national championship. Because not too long ago, Cooper Flag said one of his goals is to win a national championship, and they fell short this year with an epic collapse. But this loss does not go on Cooper Flag. But watching him walk off that basketball floor, to me, that seems like a guy who was heavily invested into the season. And I think that it may be a possibility that he does return to Duke. I know behind the scenes, people are going to tell him the smart thing to do is to go to the NBA and get that max contract in 4 years. And that is the smart thing to do. But when you talk about somebody who really loves the brotherhood that Duke has, Cooper Flag looks like he's one of those guys, and I can see it in his eyes. Now, when you talk about the deal that he has with New Balance, are they going to let him stay in college basketball and wear Nike shoes throughout next year? No. I don't think they want that to happen. So I think New Balance will try to push him to go to the NBA. And I think his family should try to push him to go to the NBA. And when you talk about players going to a shitty situation, that's going to happen whether it's this year or next year. He needs to go to the NBA, get that max contract in 4 years. I know NIL money is going to pay him good. Hell, he can probably make $20 million next year with the NIL if he decides to return to Duke. But it's no telling if he returns how next season is going to play out.
We didn't heard enough. D. Rich, stop the cap, first of all. Stop it. Look, man.
We're 10-10 already.
Look, let me tell you something. Coop done showed enough. He out of there. And if y'all pay attention like I do, he just said one key component, and I hope y'all guys do a good job at active listening because I do. Mm-hmm. He had a New Balance commercial about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That boy ain't coming back to no college basketball.
He been had a New Balance commercial.
You know what I'm saying?
They just showing
up. That's what I'm saying. He had a commercial. Come on, man.
He been sponsored by New Balance all year.
Yeah. So
he signed that deal prior to going to Duke.
So you think he coming back? Come on, man. Now, Coop, I'll say this. It's coming from a Duke fan. You sold.
Oh, he sold y'all?
You sold, bro.
That's what I was about to say. He's like, he did everything he did to win. No, he didn't.
Sold, bro.
He had that moment.
You sold, bro.
One shining moment. You should have put Isaiah Evans in the game.
Talk about it. I done seen Isaiah.
Or even right, or Kneppel had a great game.
I don't understand how we not put shooters in the game. Now, mind you, Proctor had a great shot. He did. He had a great shot.
Kneppel was cooking, bro.
Yeah, Kneppel was cooking, and Isaiah stayed ready for the moment.
Yeah.
Even though he claimed 252, nigga, you got that Charlotte in you, nigga.
No, yeah. No, he's Charlotte.
You got that QC in you now, bro. Like, I know what you claim now.
Look. He did all his dirt and everything here, boy.
In the
Charlotte. Look, I used to say that to a person check me. I'm from West Virginia. They said, when you come down here, 97, boy, you from Charlotte.
You from Charlotte, nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
Nigga, so, you did anything like middle school or high school in Charlotte?
Middle school and high school.
Oh, yeah, you from Charlotte.
Right.
Hey, you may want to hold on to your roots,
right? You might get it, right?
Hold on to them.
But I built.
But you was raised in the city, man.
Right, exactly.
Raised in the city, bro.
Right.
All right, so obviously it sounds like everybody's on board with Cooper Flag taking the bag. Go pro.
I don't know why he wouldn't.
Okay. All right. I guess that then runs us into the next conversation. I think we do have a meme, and this will kind of it'll spark off like the next really big conversation as it pertains to the NIL, as it pertains to we did have a question that I'll read afterward, but this is a head coach at Grambling. This
State,
is D1. This is D1, but this is lower D1. I want to say they're SWAC.
Yeah,
this is his personal take on this whole transfer portal NIL conversation.
We understand. I think the kids understand if they're here and if they're sophomores and they have a big year and a group of 5 or a power 5 approach them and they have the finances to pull them out of there and I can't match the finances, then you know what? They're going to go. That's part of it. Coach has been doing it for years. So we shouldn't get mad as coaches when these kids make decisions to take care of their family. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. Coach has been doing it for years. Mm-hmm. But I also think they need to be a buyout. If they move up to me and go to group of 5 and power 5, I should get kind of a compensation for that, you know? So NCAA, if you're listening to me, I need a buyout.
Yes, sir. I agree with that.
That's real talk, for real, because I mean, as a business model, it's almost like I'm training an employee to be better in their field. Mm-hmm. And once they become better, you come and bring them in at a higher contract. From the developmental stage, I brought
still on my talent. I didn't cultivate it.
I done cultivated talent. I've done everything. I've invested into this talent. I've built it up. I've put the power in it. Put the battery pack in them. I've built the skill level up for you to want them, because obviously you didn't want them 2 years ago when they came out of high school.
And look, I'm in favor of that, but let's look at the other side of that, right? Indeed puts out posts about jobs all day long, and you might work for Verizon, and guess what? AT&T say I'm gonna offer your ass more money and bonuses and all that, and that's on you if you want to leave Verizon and go to AT&T. And guess what?
AT&T is offering more money.
Well, exactly. So guess what? They ain't buying out nothing. Your ass just gonna choose to leave. You know, I agree with what he said, but I'm just saying on the flip side.
On the flip side, I get it. Like if I'm the one that's able to get that talent, I'm looking at it like, hey, shit, you the one,
right? You passed on.
It ain't my fault that you can't afford this motherfucker.
Right.
I've set myself up to afford who I need to afford.
Oh, we got more means. Period. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But I get it from both sides. It's like, it's almost like AAU.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it.
I play for We Just Hoops, and I get better to where
somebody else gonna
now someone the triple SB wants me.
You got to take that L,
and that bag gonna come because we know them bags.
Oh, it come and gear and all that, man.
Gear, bag, travel, all the things, all the above comes with that.
Hey, look,
do I get a portion of that?
Right, man. This dog eat, man. I'm just gonna take that L
because I mean, in a sense. If a coach could be about that, I could be about that.
Right.
You could be about that. You know what I mean? It's like, in a sense, we know a lot of coaches that have cultivated talent or allowed talent to flourish with us that they couldn't flourish anywhere else.
Right.
So not saying I made a person, because I never would say I made anybody.
No,
I only made my child.
but you do your job as.
But I've done my child. Yeah. I've done my job to cultivate a talent, to nurture a talent, to give freedom for a talent to develop that others didn't.
How would that work though? Let's talk about that a little bit. Just in the AAU world. No, just AAU. Let's take, because a lot of people that watch us is here.
So we gonna go high school AAU.
Okay.
Let's start at college and then work our way down. Okay. Do y'all think that the buyout option is fair when it comes down to the idea of
in college? Yes.
In college, where
I feel like yes.
Right now there's a lot of money getting thrown around.
Yeah.
And in essence, it almost is counterproductive for a mid-major or lower like D1 school, or even like if you're D1 AA, to actually let a kid shine if you're going to lose that talent the next year for free. And I imagine that's what he's kind of talking about. Like, shit, if I'm going to give him this leash, I don't get nothing in return for it.
Right.
And so
you took the chance on him.
Right. You took the chance, you developed, you was up those late nights, you was opening that gym for him.
Yeah.
It was almost like, do you become selfish?
Right, because you gotta let that kid go. What we always talk about.
No, well, when I say selfish in the sense of like you kind of alluding to, Q, was like, I've done all these things to help this kid get better. Do I selfishly hold him back?
Right.
Do I do a Dean Smith like, nah, ain't nobody on my team averaging 20?
Mm-hmm. Or tell them the bads about him.
Keep motherfucker 13.
You got a bad
14.
attitude. Though.
Well, not even that. It's like, I don't let you play your full game to a extent. I keep you system oriented to where.
But I think it'd be more incentivized for coaches at that level to do that.
Yeah.
Because of, if you keep them at, all right, I'm just gonna keep all my players. I'm gonna have 4 kids that's averaging 12.
Yeah.
If you do that, you don't really lose as many. Like I think Indiana, they might have just lost their first 8 or something like that inside the lineup to the
it's almost like if I don't allow this kid to flourish in the way that he can flourish,
he gets to stay with me
and kind of keep him in the system at least for the first 2 years. I can at least benefit. And now what I'm saying is, this is becoming more of a business versus what we talked about before, doing it for the kid.
Well, you got the Elliot Cadeau situation though.
I ain't mad at Elliot.
Me neither, but
to me, I feel like
because he's going from high major to high major. To me, I would be more. I think, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I think that it's more like if you want the farm system from the JUCO to the mid majors to the D1s, if you incentivize developing and passing off the talent, then I think that it works. If you don't, then
basically I'm just a bona fide JUCO.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So are we going to basically relegate a lot of these lower D1s, higher D2s to just basically being in the system, a farm system?
Yeah.
Now,
so,
if we're going to do that,
money to actually develop.
Now, we're going to do that. Now, I need money.
Yeah, I need that.
I'm literally
because if I'm farming, I need that.
Yeah, I'm developing talent for you that you're taking on the back end and exploiting.
And you know I'm doing it too. I need that.
Yeah. Let me get that bread,
bro.
I
need that.
Okay, I had Courtside Ross. Let me see if I can find his exact one. He had a question that kind of falls into this.
He get last question of the night.
He says,
shout out to Courtside.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
How bad are public schools in danger because of NIL? This kind of goes into that same conversation when it comes down to farming and building talent and then losing it for free. Mm-hmm. Are public schools in danger of losing the concentration of talent due to the NIL money and just the general money that's being able to be given out at the private level, the prep level?
Well, speaking for our state, we can only speak on what has previously happened, and I feel like a lot of that was triggered by a particular player leaving a public situation, going private, even though he didn't want to, it seems like, and then noticing that, he's going to benefit from that financially. Oh, you know what? Let's open up for everybody. Mm-hmm. So North Carolina, I mean, not to say that was the thinking, but it kind of really seemed like that's what happened because the chronological of events was more so like this happened. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, we're gonna change this shit to where he can get this shit.
Mm-hmm.
He went back home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like, in a sense, the opportunity to gain more from a private level and what they can specialize in is going to be detrimental to the public school realm,
Mm-hmm.
to where you will have kids that wanted to do it at home now searching for that moment on a higher level that's going to provide financial stability to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Or even a financial incentive.
Mm-hmm.
Mean that I may go to this prep school and I may get a scholarship per se, but just like in college, I may get a scholarship for just tuition. I still got to pay for room and board. I still got to pay for, other things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like private is able to supersede public in that realm of taking care of things that a player or a family may not be.
And we've had 2 coaches sit here and say they don't want to go public
because because it gives them opportunity to be more there for their players and bring in more talent. Because you think about on a private level, I can make my schedule to where I may play some local stuff this year, but if I get the right players in, I'm going straight national. I may schedule a Monteverde, a IMG, a Spirit, a Prolific Prep. All these and they may beat us by 40, but you know what my kids got the opportunity to do?
The platform
to play on ESPN, to play here, to be seen by these coaches. And that's what it's all about.
It's all about that.
Like, I feel like even though this year where we were at, and I'm on the girls' side, even on the boys' side, they took the opportunity. They played dynamic prep.
That was good.
Got their ass whooped, but at the same time, it was based on what they did individually, in a sense, against dynamic prep.
It's about the 2 guys
20,
you got, right?
He had 20 there. He had 7, 6. Those things carried some weight, especially what they end up doing later on in the season in the Chipotle Nationals and all that type of stuff. So, you take these calculated risks, but being a private level, it allows you to have more autonomy as far as what you're trying to do. Right. And you can really afford your kids an opportunity to be seen on many different levels they wouldn't be seen if they was in public.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I could say if it would hurt, because we already seeing if you a good talent, like you were saying, you're going to end up going to one of these schools like an IMG. Like, if you're a really good talent, it's rare that you get a kid to just stay like Slim did. Chad stayed and boom. I mean,
there's still 2 of them inside that same conference. You got Doris and Marcus.
Yeah.
4 stars.
Right.
Edge, 5 stars.
Right.
But nonetheless, I guess this would be a good time to kind of now you got your shout outs.
I gave mine out early on one this past weekend, LaMelo Ball tournament. Shout out to AJ Cureton. I watched him play. And
is he 8th grade?
He plays 2028, yeah.
Oh, he's
CSF. Yeah, CSF. But but I will say this. He is a selfless guard that gets his team involved, and then he'll score when needed. He's taught the right way. I watched
the lefty?
Man, he go both ways. I don't know if he left or I mean, he looked like he shoot with his right hand. But he got a motor and he plays, and I just sat and watched him because as a coach you just sit and watch how players play, and then you'll see like
you enjoy good basketball.
Yeah, you be like, man, that player good, but he's selfish. But then I'm watching him, and he just, all his paint touches, he trying to find his guys first.
Yeah,
before he shoots.
Is his people the coach Cureton?
Yeah, with the CSF, group. Yep.
I feel like they got a big win this week.
They did. Yeah, and they won the whole thing.
Yeah, I forget who they beat, but I
think it might have been Team USC.
It was somebody.
It was somebody. I know they
Team
USC.
When
you see the clips where that coach talking big shit.
Oh yeah.
I remember them days.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
But yeah, shout out to him because I actually sat and watched. I was in and out of gyms, and just I actually sat and watched him. But he looks really good, man.
Okay. And before we get out of here, on the screen, y'all can't see the screen. We got the college national championship on. Mm-hmm. Who y'all taking?
Houston.
You got Houston.
I went with Florida. You know, I feel like overall, I mean, these are two great teams as far as what they've accomplished thus far this season. Both are very defensively acclimated.
They are.
And they do their thing. You know, you tell their coaches, you know, really thrive on what it is to be a great defensive player. And it's been, you know, one thing when you get to this point, you start getting the gems from the coaches.
Yeah.
You start getting the hidden videos of practice. Like I've watched some hidden videos of Houston practice. Like,
man, did you see that post on Instagram when they were talking about the mile run? Everybody runs it in like a 5 something or something like that.
And that kind of reminds me back of high school to where we had to make a mile. Like if you didn't run cross country, you had to make your mile within like a 5:45.
Oh my goodness. There'll be a lot of kids not playing, Wayne.
Oh, well, it were a lot of kids not playing.
I'm talking about now, though.
Oh, well, of course, but the mindset changes when you know that coach is not going to bend.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you know a coach is going to bend, that's when you don't respect it. When you know that coach is like 10 toes down, like I was running with 5 motherfuckers y'all don't even know versus the ones y'all do know because they didn't make their mile time, and you like, you know what? I fuck with bro.
That damn Clayton Jr. hell though.
And this ain't his main sport.
That's crazy.
He came to Florida on a visit for football.
Man, that Clayton Jr. son, he gonna be.
He wasn't even ranked.
Somebody told me a good comparison. I was like, Jamal Murray. I was like,
I see more Devin Booker.
Yeah, it could be that too.
I see a lot of Devin Booker in this game.
He good, bro.
It got to the point that I was like, hey, son.
But hey, look, I think Houston gonna win.
He's what you could be.
You know me, I'm the I gotta shoot my conspiracy cue. I heard it after the Duke game. You gotta get that.
I heard that Malawat getting goddamn shit back to South Sudan.
Let me get my conspiracy out.
Get the conspiracy goddamn out there. I'm gonna throw that shit out on your ass.
I heard him say, could Sampson be the oldest coach to win a national championship? That right there, I'm a conspiracy guy,
it's just
man.
something that they could have.
I'm a conspiracy.
So what is he like? 4 months older than what Coach K would be if he'd have won the last championship when Carolina knocked him out?
We talking about your boy winning his first one.
I think that they would have pushed more for the narrative of John Shire and that Duke whole little legacy and him passing the torch and it being if they could control something, I think that the good old boys they want that. Especially when you got Captain America.
We seen him sell though.
I definitely had Captain America.
He sold though.
The Avengers lost.
Yeah, they did.
You had Captain America, Iron Man.
They was in Infinity War.
Captain America didn't throw a shield when he needed to.
We got to come back to Endgame because y'all didn't do it. Y'all didn't do
it. Right, you remember the damn Hulk wouldn't come out. He kept telling his ass no.
We got to come back to Endgame. Well, hopefully the Endgame they make it. But for real though, Cooper, you better not come the fuck back to college.
Nah, hell no. Go to the Utah Jazz or the Charlotte Hornets.
Knuppel should be gone.
Yeah. No, don't take Knuppel. I want to keep him. He should be gone. He is, but no, I want to keep hope. I want to keep hope for him.
So sadly for him though, he's going to leave. Going to be highly drafted. He's going to be in the G League.
Yeah.
It's sad to say because I mean
because he's not Austin Reeves good.
He's NBA ready, but he's not NBA ready.
He's not Austin Reeves good or Dalton Connect good.
Oh hell no!
You get what I'm saying?
And
he's
Austin
good.
Reeves was not drafted, was he?
I don't
He may have been second round.
Yeah, he was later
because he was older. You know what I mean? Older than Oklahoma and all that type shit. Same thing with Dalton Connect, but I feel like Knuppel is.
He need to stay so we can.
It's almost like your boy from Kentucky last year.
They from Milwaukee.
Reed Shepherd came out with a lot of hype. Got drafted high. You talked about a lot of his high points, but
is he in the G League too?
You look at bro. You look at that Houston team now. He don't. I mean, what can he do for them right now?
Nothing.
Yeah. In which I mean, it just ended up being a really bad one because they were already loaded. Like, what are they number 3?
I feel like it was
number 3. So
they
being a rookie breaking that.
They developed more than the expectation was. You didn't.
Yeah. Amon got off.
Segun got off.
Yeah.
Jalen Green took another step. Van Fleet goddamn did it.
Yeah.
Eason.
It's nowhere for
and that damn Shangoon.
Yeah, I saying Shangoon.
He's a mud, boy.
So like you have a strong 7 and Dylan Brooks. You got a strong
and Dylan Brooks. You got your glue.
It's like, where does he fit in right
now? Nowhere.
They don't need him.
They don't.
Because I mean, end of the day, Amin can actually is that Amin Asur?
That's Amin.
That's Amin.
Yeah.
He can also
He can
just
play
run
1
the
through
point.
4.
He does.
He, can just
He
run
does
the point when
everything.
Van Fleet's not
Yeah.
doing it.
Like,
And-
bro, like both of them took a hell of a step over the summer.
Yeah.
It may have been health, may have been wealth, it may have been goddamn just getting a year up under their belt, but
both of them look good though.
bro, both of them look like
They
they
both
first
did.
The
team.
one in
all
the
D.
Pistons look better though.
They
if you
first
ask
team
me.
all D. Well, I would say pause. I would say goddamn, you got to
You
with the
gotta
young.
go
You
pause
got
it.
to for the young kids, bro.
Gotta
They-
pause it, man,
'cause
because
you know
they
you-
get you, bro.
You know when you get the hey yo coach,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
like
and
what
they will be in your story, like,
Bro.
hey, Coach Wayne,
In-
hey,
in the
yo.
day, look, they won't
Right.
hear. They won't hear nothing I said up to this
Up
whole
to that.
last hour and a half. They gonna hear the D.
Right.
Pause, coach. Paul, yo, pause, coach. But yo, before we finish out though, let's go ahead and take this to a whole different little moment.
Uh-oh.
So, bro, went to goddamn Dreamville Fest.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So we talking about some of the best concert type vibes that you're gonna get in this new era. Like, how was that for you, bro? Because you had the Hot Boys
Oh yeah.
on set,
You
like.
know it was good. He got the hat on.
Oh yeah.
And
I
for
think-
Hot
I
Boys,
think
you
it's
talking
the
about
old
for
head.
y'all
Yeah.
for y'all young people that were born anywhere after the 90s, y'all may not understand this, but
That's where that whoa came
that's
from.
where that
Right, right.
swag
whoa
from,
came
yeah.
from. That's where a lot of different things y'all hear now come from. So like for the Hot Boys, hey, bro was there to see it.
Yeah,
It was a time to be alive. I'm trying to find here go the list right here. So if I can run down some of my favorites, I've seen a couple people multiple times. So I won't necessarily put them up as high. My favorite was easily the Hot Boys, Lil Wayne,
the Hot Boys,
Yeah, I didn't realize how much just being a kid in Charlotte,
Mhm.
like Cash Money. When
Mhm.
I'm talking about like they had the big timers. So you got Manny
For the
and Birdman.
9-9.
Nigga,
You
we
had
been
Wesley,
wild.
Juvie did.
Nigga, we didn't know what
your
Jabot jeans were till we got
Right.
them listening to Cash Money. Nigga,
Right.
we niggas buying $8 jeans back then with the straps on them with different colors to go with
Straps
the days.
everywhere. I was one of them.
And
With the
They
big
played
ass
everything-
t-shirts.
They played everything I wanted. I heard bump, 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 bump,
Oh,
bump,
man.
From my head down to my shoes.
When I heard it, I said, okay.
Stunting on 22s.
We here now.
Yeah.
Again, you got Juvie doing, 400 degrees. Like you got
You in the big body Benz, huh?
Right.
You can't keep on letting because you keep fucking the friends, huh?
Yeah. You got Mania and them, Mania and them coming out to
Yeah.
Gator.
Oh,
With the
yeah, they
played
did.
out
Oh, they did it
Gucci
like
suit.
that.
Yes.
No
It-
time.
it was
Take
fire.
time.
Yeah.
They was good. I do like R&B, so I got my Erykah Badu in.
Yeah.
I got Tim's. I like
Oh,
Tim's a lot.
on and on and
Yeah,
on
no.
and on.
Luda, he was a sleeper.
Oh, Luda was there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Luda, he had a good.
Did he do hoes in different area codes?
Yeah, he did. He did.
I
He also
got hoes.
he started off with hoes.
Use a
oh,
hoe.
man.
Yeah.
Use a hoe.
Let me see. I did want to see Big X, so I enjoyed that.
Oh,
who
Big
else?
X
Big
was
as the
there?
plug.
Yeah, Big X. the Plug was there.
Oh,
You know
I
who-
like him.
Yeah,
Nah, bro, different. Like,
No, look, bro. I ain't mean
Bro,
to cut you off,
bro,
but I
different,
don't
though.
listen to none of these new dudes.
But
But
that nigga
and
there,
that production
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
on, killer. I listen to him.
even the old school beats he brings up,
Man,
and
he
kinda
be snapping,
refurbished,
bro.
like,
I
yeah,
like
love-
him.
I fuck with
Yeah,
him.
big time.
And my guilty pleasure, again, Dreamville Fest. If you go out there, there's a lot of beautiful ladies. Like you look out in the crowd.
Yeah, you just seeing it.
I want my old lady, but like you just go out there, you can just enjoy it.
But
So we out
comfortable
there,
in your own
and
skin.
if you've seen the pictures, it's thousands and thousands.
oh,
So that lets you know, even as a married
you know who
man,
went off?
you have eyes. You are
Yeah.
human.
Oh,
you are a man.
hey.
And again, ladies,
we all do.
This
You
is a
are a
basketball
man.
podcast. But
Yeah.
understand, and my lady, she understands. Like,
Hey,
we
look,
out there
exactly.
together. But
And that's why y'all together.
Let me
she
let me
understands.
correct you
Go
though.
ahead.
They look too. So don't
Oh,
just
of course.
look about think about what we seeing. They look. They
Of
just
course.
don't make it as obvious. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah. Listen, I had shades on.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was cool.
Gotta
But
keep
saying
the
all that
shades
to
on.
say, that Glorilla set went off.
Oh man. Oh,
Yeah.
she was there.
Yeah, that Glorilla
Oh,
set
nah.
went off.
Get him
Saying
glow.
all that to say,
Get 'em.
saying
Get 'em,
all that
Glow.
to say.
Oh, nah,
that
Glow-
Glorilla set,
nah, Glow be
just
having
give him
niggas
like he
hitting
was
the
all
shit.
Oh
there.
yeah. No, she
Holy-
go hard.
It's 90.
Yeah.
It ain't.
Man,
It's
she
'cause
go hard.
She
Niggas
do
be
the
going
3-6
hard.
Mafia flow.
I like that. Let them cook.
Oh, nah, for sure.
women.
Yeah, right. They let them cook joint hard.
She is
Yeah.
360 Market for the females.
Yeah.
Like, she is Project Pat of the feminine of the
yeah.
female race,
Yeah,
for real.
she
like
hard though.
Yeah. So nonetheless, I'm still recovering from it, but it was a time to be alive.
You want a shot to recover? Yes, go ahead. Oh, okay.
We definitely had to touch on that because I mean, even though we talk about basketball, we also are dads. We also live
Had a
life.
little fan-free
Husbands,
weekend. It was scheduled perfectly. They ain't had
Scheduled
no game.
perfectly. It got to a point that when I knew everybody was going, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Right.
I forgot to get my ticket.
Get it.
But you know what though? I probably wouldn't have made it back to work like I should have on Monday.
Oh no, it would have been a challenge.
Yeah, because I know it was a few.
So was it like a 2-day event?
Yes, 2 days.
2-day event.
Yeah, both days.
Did y'all hit the club together or not?
Once you leave there,
I'm about to say that it's kind of like an all in one.
Yeah,
you get
you
club,
can get out there about one,
food, everything all in one.
They build little like Hitty. They had like a whole little club in there. Bacardi, they had their own little club.
Okay.
Like I forget what the other liquor brand was. Like they all will build like it's a big ass. It's on NC State campus.
Okay.
It's like a huge field. I don't even know where I would compare it to in Charlotte, but it's maybe like 150 yards long.
Yeah.
And in that they'll have like different spaces. So you might have, like I said, the Henny tent where they got their own DJ.
Oh.
You have like the Bacardi tent, they got their own DJ. But then you got the main stages,
Mm-hmm.
in which they'll alternate whoever the big act is. And then you have like again all the food trucks and shit. And then you have
so you good. You one-stop shop.
Yeah, it's all a one-stop shop.
Yeah,
but you ain't getting out until about 11:30.
Yeah.
But you've been on your feet all day.
All day. And you ready to get
You've been binge drinking all day. Like it's you when you leave, you trying to take your ass.
Yeah, you trying to go to sleep. Yeah.
But nonetheless, that has been Open Gym Podcast. As y'all know, from coaches to casuals and everything in between. And sometimes we step in to be music critics, I guess.
Yes,
part two. Yeah.
But this has been an Open Gym Podcast. I am Coach Q.
Coach T, who I be.
Coach, way too nice.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we out. Peace.
Yes.